Let's just come over here and welcome you guys officially here. So how's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Had a long day at work, but happy to be here. Happy to be watching. I think you got two of me on the camera right now instead of Brad.
I think that's.
I don't know what just happened there.
I think we just we chose not to. Oh, we got three now. I think it's going to. There we go. Let's try that out.
There we go. Two Joes. That's fine.
Fair enough.
All right.
I think it was going to who was the dominant speaker there, so hopefully we don't have to change any settings. So Ecamm has just done some new updates, and when they do new updates, they actually change all the defaults that you had. So it may be a few tweaks that I didn't see before, but yeah, nonetheless, carry on, Joe.
Yeah. So yeah, just ready to watch some Legion, man. It's Friday night.
Yeah, it is, in fact. And Brad, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good. Just played a game with John, actually, that didn't go quite my way. Looks like they're still jumping over to priority speaker.
It is.
But
I'll pop you in there.
I'm excited to, maybe crack a refreshment, see what I want to see, and commentate on this exciting Rebel matchup that we're going to have here of the two gunslingers going at each other in Skirmish, correct?
Yeah, definitely. So, Skirmish format, got a little bit of a different table look tonight. Still on the winter table, we're going to swap over. The guys wanted to play that. They really like the look of that. So they set themselves up a nice little table. I let them do that. They balanced it out in the sense that they each kind of set up some terrain. So I'll bring you guys over to the table layout here, and we'll just talk lists here before they get going. You guys can start on deployments while we're doing that. So I'll just set the stage. They have pulled clear conditions, breach, and meeting engagement. Joe is going to be going from the... so Joe is blue player here, so he's going to be coming from the my left, going to the right, and Keith is on the right, and he has drawn red player here. So both 499, so they did a roll-off for that.
Okay.
So you guys can talk
like
lists. I'm going to set up timer
like we
here.
got some Rebel troopers with Han Chewie, couple of Rebel troopers with Z6s, a comms jammer flamethrower RT, which I like, especially in Skirmish. Two of them. So yeah, that'll be interesting in Skirmish, especially against these like naked Rebel troopers, it looks like, on the opposite side. Yeah, very, very good potential to one-shot those things, I'm thinking. And it looks like it's going to be the battle of the flamethrowers versus the rotaries. So we'll see who comes out ahead in that case.
Yeah, an interesting note here specifically with Joe's list. We're not going to see any combos with Sorry About the Mess here on this one, because he is running the comms jammers instead of the HQ uplinks that you normally see to try to get that first priority shot with Han's card. I do like both lists, though. I think that Explosions is going to be a big player here because Han historically has a really tough time clearing suppression.
Mm-hmm.
So that double suppression shot that he's going to be able to pull off here, especially in Skirmish, is going to be big. Maybe Chewbacca can mitigate that a little bit. I know Chewie's going to be a nice edge against the rotary ATRTs on the other side of the table because that surge to crit and the impact on that bowcaster is fantastic.
Yep.
But there is the Saboteur that's lurking out there with Sabine as well. So I think it's going to see a lot of suppression versus trying to push through that. We'll see if the Flamers can deal with the amount of troopers on the opposite side. But yeah, recon intel as well. So those Sabs are going to get right up where they want to be. Is
it a speed 3 deployment essentially? Yeah, I think you could probably... I don't know if the players could hear this or not. Hopefully not, but you could probably like corner peek pretty well right off the bat with the Sab against one of those ruins, I would think. And just looking at the deployment here in the upper corner, I think I would just go right, I guess, screen north of the stairs, tuck back in there, throw a bomb in that direction, turn one, pull it up, retreat, see what you could pull off.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So I love Sabs in Skirmish. I think that they're really strong, especially the Imperial ones. But yeah, we'll have to see how these Rebels do. I mean, they have impact, right, on their explosion.
Yeah, so it's going to be relevant against those RTs.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
It's surge crit, impact, 2 white, 1 red.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couple housekeeping items, just setting up the stream here. So we're in this this look here. You guys are going to see the TV behind me. What I have done is I've set up a full screen here for the players, so they can actually see the full game window. They'll see the overhead. They'll see all your chat. So if you guys have questions specifically for them, I can throw them in. They can see them as well. So and I will share out my full screen for you guys as well, so it's a little bit easier to see. Hopefully you guys can see everything fairly nicely, but I'll go full screen here in a minute when we get ready. While they're setting up, I'm just going to drop over to the pledge window really quick. We had quite a few developments in the pledge department as of last stream, so just popping over here, we've added Al Paz, Jeff Arney. I think Jeff appreciated the hashtag in the box that we dropped last week. So, and of course, Al Paz, friend of the show, and Nick Smith coming in as well to join the pledge support here. So jumped up to 270 credits, of substantial gain from last week. So as always, guys, totally appreciate that. We'll share these guys out a few times, pre-turn, turn 4, and then again in turn 6. So do appreciate that. We are so much closer to the adding the additional cams. So much appreciated to all those guys on our pledge wall.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Also, Al, I'm just really appreciative that you actually found it in your heart to pull out of your gas money to get to the next prime. And,
yeah,
actually give us a little donation. Appreciate
so big shout out, maybe a pledge to the community here. If you see Al Paz hitchhiking on his way to his next RPQ because he's donated a Legion Academy, give the guy a drive. You know, he doesn't take up much space, you know, so I'm sure he would appreciate that. Great. So that guy, as I said, he's doing 2 a day. So there's one coming up in Winnipeg here, which is the next province over for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if Al Paz shows up there. So
actually, speaking of that, how many primes do you have coming up this month? Because this month is like insane. I think there's one every weekend in the Midwest.
I only have one, so there's one on the, not a prime, but there's a little 800 point event on the weekend, or skirmish, I forget which one it is. Whatever, I got to bring a 800 point list and downgrade to 5 if it's not 800, but that's happening this month, and then I say this month, February, I mean, and then in 3 weeks time. Yeah, the 21st, I think it is. Whatever the Saturday, I think it's the 21st. There's one in Winnipeg, but I'm going to be looking to maybe hit the next one in Fargo as well, so kind of go stateside. And then I think Calgary is going to be hosting another one as well. So I'll probably try to get to a couple, but how many I get to before Worlds, I'm not sure. So yeah,
I think next weekend there's 2 happening simultaneously. One in Madison, Wisconsin, one in Muncie, Indiana. And then I believe the following week there's one in Milwaukee, and then the week after that there's one in Grays Lake. And then I think that's it. So like basically all of those are within driving distance, 2 to 3 hours of us. So for those guys in the Chicago scene that haven't quite got their invites yet, there's still several chances this month. So that's pretty cool.
For sure.
You know, Al's been trying to convince me to run up to Wisconsin with him next weekend, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, he's trying to pull you into the circuit.
Oh yeah,
he's trying to pull you into the
fight
tour.
For those rankings, man.
Yeah,
oh, I know.
Almost back on page 1.
Okay, go ahead.
I told myself I'm just trying to get best in faction with all 4 factions.
There you go.
So I've knocked out droids, and now I got to see what I'm bringing next weekend. So maybe clones. We'll see. All right,
I think these guys might be pretty close to ready. You guys got everything deployed? Yeah. Okay. So with meeting engagement here, we kind of have the kitty corner boxes here. So we got that 2x2 box. Looks like we got both RTs ready to kind of flank around that bottom stair section, and then the other RTs are split across those rocks. Can you guys just tell me what did you guys decide for the rocks? You're going to play them as heavy cover?
Rocks are heavy.
Okay.
All the little cargo containers are light.
Yep.
Trees are light cover, but line of sight is through them.
Gotcha. Okay, so just to repeat in case you guys didn't hear that, light cover for the trees. They can see through them though, no blocking. All the rocky surface is going to be played as heavy cover. Are they going to be difficult going as well? Slow you down?
I would think so, unless you the rock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they slow you down.
Yep, fair enough. So they're going to do difficult ground for the rocks, and then they're going to play all the barricades and crates as light cover.
Beautiful. Sounds good.
So I
Alpaz
think.
is saying got to get the rookie numbers up on our ELO.
Oh,
he
come
does,
on.
He does in particular. He does in
Yeah,
particular.
yeah. I was
Hey,
like, I'm pretty sure Alpaz has the most registered games on the ELO site.
yeah. Why don't you get some games in, bro? Come on. He's gonna be the first guy to hit triple digits for games played.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So looking at what we've got with deployment here, I really like. I like the positioning of those sabs. I also don't like it. Because those RT flamers could really punish that. Because that actually, Sean, can you let me know those temple pieces, are those tall enough to give the RTs cover or no?
The temple pieces, yes, they'll be
Okay.
over half the height, so the RTs will get cover behind that. And then the
They're also line of sight blocking to troopers. Yeah.
Okay, so cards in the tray. I'm going to let these guys spin the first one. Here we go.
Let's see what we got.
Making sure we're on the right side. Here we go. All right, so we got push versus assault. Looks
Okay.
like Joe's got priority there. Thank you, boys.
Would not be surprised to see that put on Sabine and the Sab here.
Yeah. Folks in chat, just let us know too. I noticed my sound was a little hollow last time, so just let us know if anybody's got hollow sound or if there's anything appearing that is not normal. But everything looks good on our end here. So.
Okay.
All right,
RTs. So is that the both RTs and what else got orders for Joe?
Looks like Joe has RT. Joe played. Joe played push. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I wouldn't be surprised. Joe actually might be. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going for actually kind of a last first with those here, because on this small of a board, that's kind of what you want to set up here, where he's able to even double move if he needs to, instead of shooting, because that'll also really threaten the Sabs. So yeah, there you got the assaults. You got NRT, Sabine, and the Sabs getting it. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's only got one RT in the pool. Those Sabs, I don't know. Do you want to push out early and risk losing the one, because he has no medics, right?
I would say no in this case, just because he's behind a piece of line of sight blocking terrain.
Yeah.
He's safe. He doesn't really have to expose himself for no reason. I think you do a last first with the Sabs.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a last first with the Sabs. Just get get in there, maybe pair it with an explosions on round 2 or something like that.
Ooh, that'd be nasty.
Yeah, so you can just load suppression everywhere.
Yeah.
You won't be able to affect the flamers, so you'll still have to take the flamers and probably lose the Sabs at that point, but if they do their job, they do their job. Yeah, explosions would be good. The other thing is you can't have control over the Sabs if you use explosions there, but I think if you get a double hit off, like if both RTs... Oh, he's actually going first with the RT.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well...
So moving up, we're probably going to see a double move here, going around the tree. Just getting into a position, probably trying to threaten, maybe see if he can't push more of Keith's army north on Keith's side of the board from what we're seeing here. North being, of course, towards the top of your screens for those watching. Okay, yeah, so he's definitely threatening there. That RT, I'm afraid that RT's probably not going to be able to get to attack until turn 3, though.
Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, well, I'm dumping everything into that RT right now.
I mean, the only thing is he's only got really naked rebel troopers to throw into that RT, though. So
that's
completely
true.
crit fishing.
Yeah, it's just fishing.
I think it's honestly better to. I personally, I don't know if it's necessarily better, but I personally would probably take my rebel troopers and just run back towards the board edge and run up the side.
Yeah, run towards the top.
And could you do me a favor and refresh my memory? It's been a while since I've played Skirmish. Breach is it breakthrough for Skirmish?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, I think you want to maintain your activations here. So I personally would not. He has to watch out because he can't land on his own dudes and he can't walk through RTs with his troopers. Oh, they're actually moving up. Okay. So I am 0 for 2 on predictions right now.
Hey, one thing about Friday Night Fights, Lord Vader, the players will always keep us guessing here. So, it's all about that. This is truthfully testing ground for a lot of things. So, it's one thing I love about Skirmish is go with Plan A, and if you end up losing, you can quickly play another game.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna make things a little fun for the chat here as well. For every prediction I don't get right, you should take a drink.
All right, yeah, it's Friday night. It's Friday
Whoa.
night.
Friday night, we're gonna have some
We're
fun.
here to
so-
party.
Al
Sean,
Paz is
start
already-
brewing the tea.
Al Paz has already cracked into his 4th Canadian here.
All right, so I am going to mute my mic and run away and get a drink for a hot second. So Joe, go ahead and take over for the moment.
All right. Maybe when you get back, I'll take a run.
Jeez, I guess I'll just hold down the stream here, boys. It's better text my wife to bring me a tea downstairs here, because I obviously can't leave the console.
Lord Vader has left the building. It looks like we've got... Okay, so the Rebel Troopers basically just moved and ended their activation. What do we got going next here?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Looks like Keith's just pulled... looks like he just pulled his commander here.
Okay.
So looks like obviously holding Sabs, obviously holding Sabine late game here. So I think the pull of the commander is not a bad pull here. Just keep in mind, Keith, you can't move through your RT base there. You're gonna have to go around.
That is not allowed. That is not allowed. Yep.
31 people hanging out in chat, so welcome everyone. 34, my correction there. So let us know where you're at, where you're watching from, and any questions you have for players specifically, I can pop them up and let the players know. So Bob's already 5 in. Rum is your friend, he says. So
Hey, what's up, Bob?
I think Bob's profile pic definitely matches his comment there. So
All right, it's Friday night. We're having a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah, 34 people hanging out. You cannot complain, and there will be shenanigans abound, I'm sure.
Yeah, so what do we got going on? I saw them move kind of through the tree. Unfortunately, kind of boxed himself in there with those RTs, but I understand the logic. Is he going to be taking a shot here? Does he have range to take a shot? Can't really tell.
And Sabine has endurance, I believe.
Keith, what was your second action there when you just moved?
It was like another little bit of move just to...
Okay, gotcha. So that was a double move there, Joe. He just
okay.
did a little bit of a nudge there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Joe,
And that's
Joe's pulling.
Sabine hiding out there.
Yeah. If you guys want to pull too,
no, that
if
was
you
the rebel
just flash your
officer.
token
Okay.
underneath there, Joe.
Sure.
There you
So
go.
the-
There you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the guys just to flash their tokens for us so we can actually see what's pulled. So,
Sounds good. So yeah, the
that's
mini
fine.
that's currently
Oh.
camouflaged at the
Gotcha.
bottom
That's
of
okay.
the bottom of the temple, that is the rebel officer, yes?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, because it is perfectly camouflaged into that white mat right there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Right?
yes,
he
but-
just did,
Sean,
Yep. Go ahead.
by the way, you may have your Canadians up there, but I've got some lovely 3-1-2 here that I'm going to enjoy tonight.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
All right. That's some good American counting there. 3-1-2. I like it.
That's how we do things down here.
that's
Gotcha.
Chicago.
Gotcha.
Hey, man.
Chicago beer.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's Barack Obama's favorite beer.
All right.
There you
Well,
go.
Recognize.
my apologies.
So we got Chewie. Looks like Chewie's going to run up some stairs here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get that
a
cardio
little-
in.
Yep, get the cardio in, gets a little bit of free cover from being on an elevated position there, and gets a little bit more of some line of sight potential. I don't know if he's going to take a shot at the officer.
It wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. I don't know if he's looking over line of sight there. Unless they differentiated the stairs from the piece there, he may be able to deny cover with that angle.
Yeah.
Looks like we got quite a geographic coverage here tonight. Just looking here, we got Iowa, we got Indiana, we got some UK, we got Argentina in the house here. Hello,
Nice. Welcome.
Georgia. Got a couple Canadians here, of course. So Chris Zenga checking in. Welcome, folks.
I hope you guys are all having a great Friday night. And thanks for spending time with us. All
Okay.
right. So
All right.
have no shots been exchanged yet?
No shots of exchange. Joe's just going to quickly go take a refreshment break here, so we got a little bit of a chat. Keith, you pulled another token?
I'm about to.
Yeah, you want to flash that token after you do that so we can see?
Okay. So looking at the state of the board
Perfect.
right now, you got a big push coming down the southern side of the left side of the board here.
Yeah.
What we got? We got an RT moving up, making our way. Yep, I like this move, moving the RT up to get a good angle on the middle, get around that big cover piece there. This sets that RT up to go ahead and move next turn and maybe take a really good rotary shot into the side of that flamer or into those rebel troopers with the Z6 if they want to move up.
Yeah, Keith's got potential here if he ends up getting both his RTs kind of stacked up, because he started together. Joe went a little bit wider, so if both RTs start coming in and if they can dominate that one side, Joe might be in a little bit of hurt here, because Sabine, I think, can do a nice move, cut off the other avenue of approach there with an explosions, and then Keith would be in a nice position to really run around that ruin and then press for the top, because keeping in mind they are going through breakthrough, so even if Sabine doesn't end up committing to going to the other end, she can be a good linebacker unit in this mission, as well as the other Saboteur. So
yeah, absolutely, and that suppression is going to be key. Now the one thing with Keith's RT there that I'm slightly concerned about is that is going to have to be a pivot shoot on the next turn if he wants to take that shot, with how that RT ended up with movement. You know, that's part of the, sometimes you have to do that on the board, so it's going to be at least an action that's eaten that could have been a move, but maybe not from that angle.
Right. I'll just bring us back to on screen here while Joe's just off taking, as I said, refreshment. So just keeping in mind too, Brad, I didn't think I told you, but the players can only hear me talking. So I generally try to stay a little bit quieter, or I just speak out of context, or I just give fake advice that I hope to see them execute on screen here. So
man, you're not going to do the LVO whisper?
Oh man, I got used to that. That was insane. All right, Luke Cook is now drawing from the bag. He is going to. Okay, he's just breaking out his movement tool. Looks like he appears to be measuring to the side.
While we got,
God, that was a crit.
While we have 10 seconds, do you want to tell a funny story, Brad, that you witnessed about how I needed to dedicate 4 units to kill an E-Web?
Oh yeah. So I believe you guys talked about it on the podcast yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's been a long week. I'm still recovering from LVO, but on the podcast you talked about it for sure. While I was judging top 8, Sean here is deployed in. It was on, I believe it was Disarray.
Disarray, yeah.
KP, and I forget what the condition was.
I think we just had clear. I think
it wasn't anything really important, but for his opponent, for Disarray, decides to deploy a lonely E-Web in the far corner, and then opposite a large pipe on the opposite corner, Sean deploys his entire army minus some snipers.
Yep.
And I remember walking by during deployment, and I go, well, that E-Web's not going to last very long, because the E-Web didn't have any cover for the most part.
Right.
It was a really good angle for the Tauns to come in and just light it up, because they could get there with 2 moves and shoot it, every single one of them, and even some troopers, I think, could have moved up and shot. Maybe on the next turn to get over the pipe, but I kept walking around, looking at the different tables, and I walked by and it's like, oh, the E-Web has 1 wound. Okay. Walk by about, 5-something minutes later. That's a lot of suppression on that E-Web. And it still has 1 wound.
1 wound.
Yeah, it just
walked
would
by
not die.
Later. There is now a Taun unit that has engaged that E-Web, and the E-Web is on 2 wounds, and I'm like, and there's even more suppression. I'm like, okay, how many shots has this E-Web taken? So this little E-Web that could stole my heart in the first round, because it survived an onslaught from Sean's entire army, much to Sean's dismay, I'm sure, as I watched him slowly get stressed out more and more and more over the course of the round.
It took a second Tauntaun ram to kill that E-Web. I shot it 2 times with...
You had to commit, what, 200 plus points to a 55-point unit?
I shot it with 2 Hunter snipers. So I shot it with the first sniper, triggered Hunter for the second sniper, shot it. Yeah. Shot it with the Tauntauns on the first one, double moved, shot it. Double moved the other one, shot it. Still only 1 wound. Shot it with the sniper. Other sniper died because he got it with stormtroopers. Then I rammed it with the first Tauntaun, got the second wound, rammed it with the second unit of Tauntauns to finally kill it. So 3 sniper shots, 2 with Hunter, 2 Tauntaun units, and 2 rams to kill an E-Web.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
It's not great.
Honestly, looking back at it, I think that you have won your opponent the game.
Oh, definitely. It definitely won that.
Yeah.
That game was all about red dice saves. Unfortunately, I was rolling all white dice saves. So that's just how that game. It was a great game, but those red dice were incredible. So we have Joe back in, and Joe is what have you pulled, Joe?
I'm just using my
Okay,
second.
gotcha. So second RT is activating right now.
I did one move right now.
Oh, so he's really he's diving deep with that RT.
I like this move with that RT. It really forces the action.
Yeah.
Because that I believe that RT can go straight over those crates with no issue, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that RT is
100%.
really going to force, now what it's going to force Keith to, okay, how am I going to deal with this? It's either they're going to have to start committing to shoot it with Rebel Troopers, which is not going to do much against the armor keyword unless he rolls crits. Sabine's not even going to do much against it, even with her surge crit, because she doesn't have that many dice to throw at it.
Yep.
The Rebel Sabs haven't gone yet, but the Sabs aren't necessarily a good position to bomb it this turn, effectively. Is that a dodge that it took?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so even then, that's another counter against possibly getting shot.
Man,
with Sab.
I would have taken the standby.
I personally would have taken the standby too, because then you go out and the Sabs move to try to bomb you, and you go whoop, and you go right over that middle box and get close.
Yeah.
Does Sabine have Darksaber?
No Darksaber on Sabine. Sabine has Recon. Let me just move some overlays here for me.
I think it's just endurance.
Yeah, Endurance. Oh, sorry, just Endurance on Sabine.
Just endurance.
Just endurance. Okay, so full
Yeah.
gunslinger Sabine here. So yeah, she's not going to be the best anti-armor threat that you can bring. You know, these Flamer RTs actually really might make a huge threat, especially on this objective, because they're going to be able to eat up some activations, and it's really the biggest thing in Keith's list that's going to be able to deal with them are his own RTs.
Yeah.
One of which is already not in a position to shoot that Flamer that's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pulled a trooper here. I mean, it's nice here that the threat of the RTs is not going to threaten him this turn. However, the distance that he can close, really, if he walks forward at all, he's in flamer range to start next turn.
Absolutely.
So-
You know, they
so-
project a nice range bubble, the threat bubble there, that makes it so it's really hard to, because you have to think about, because it's not only, so a regular move is just under 6 inches, right? For a normal trooper with a speed 2 move. That RT is going to be able to add 2 more onto that because of the size of its base. So it's going to be coming in at about 8 inches and then has a 6-inch threat range past that. So you're looking at
Just-
about 14 inches of threat that you have to account for. And it's a huge circle. It's a lot bigger than you think it'd be.
Just Keith, maybe just make sure you just don't go over that RT base when you move there again.
Yeah, dude.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's the angle for us is a little bit different. So yeah, as long as you're clear and you're good. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just verifying with players here to not go over the RT base, which would block troop movement. So
Yeah, lovely camera angles making magic happen. That doesn't actually happen.
Yeah.
All right, so this is
It's like
moving
it's
up there.
another double
Is that a rebel
move.
trooper?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the double move here. He's going to stay behind cover.
Yep.
Now, the one scary part about moving up there, he's going to have to watch his cohesion. He is cohering forward, which is scary there, because what that RT can do, if it wants to, if that RT wants to hold on and not get shot up a bunch, that RT can now just pivot and walk right into those troopers on the next turn. He may not get a shot, but he's still going to be able to say, you have to deal with me at some point. If you try to commit to the north, I'm just going to swing back with my RTs.
And honestly, even with a pivot move, he's one move away from being in the deployment zone and scoring.
Exactly.
So it's like here he's already in your face. Yeah.
Actually, one thing that's interesting, that ATRT, if it takes, so the middle one in the middle, if it takes a left turn and touches, that gets close enough to touch the terrain, can it see over that? Because if it can see at least a few models of that Rebel Trooper unit solidly, that's still going to be a really good flame.
Yeah, honestly, and I know it can because I've had these exact ruins before. Like, I've printed these exact same pieces. And honestly, so if you see, like, on the north side of the stairs, on the north side of the piece on the right, It's kind of like a crumbled wall. He could probably just move over that
Yeah.
freely too.
From him, I can't see
Yeah.
these, but I can see all the
Well,
Yeah,
you're
so
As
going-
long as it's less than as long as depending on how the players ruled it, of course. I know
Shot on
this
the arc.
interpretation of terrain is contentious between the two of you.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know what
Okay.
the rules are in Canada, but
Yeah. RT shot coming in here. Aim shot.
Yeah.
Yep,
So we got one crit coming through for sure.
that's some crits.
Got any impact on your?
That was just from the rotary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not on a
Yeah.
rotary.
I just making sure he didn't. Yeah, he's rotary, not laser cannon. So two crits coming in. Joe's required to make 2 saves here.
So for everybody watching, this actually kind of illustrates. Oop, didn't see those saves.
There we go.
One save. Hey, ATRT making a save. Good for you, buddy.
Nice.
One interesting note about that RT dodging there.
Oh, I
Uh-huh.
didn't dodge. I have a dodge.
The ATRT has the lovely armor keyword,
Dodge
right?
Right.
crits, though.
Oh, yes.
And you
I
cannot
dodge.
spend dodges to cancel crits unless you have,
Right.
unless you have an ability like it's granted by the evasive maneuvers card for reveals.
Right.
So taking a dodge there is actually kind of a wasted action
Yeah,
because
there's literally no impact in his list.
yeah,
Right?
100%.
Yep.
So
So
yeah,
that
standby.
that should have been a standby.
Absolutely,
alright.
probably should have been a standby. Just something to keep in mind, folks. If you're running RTs of your own, armor is awesome unless you're facing fire.
Yep. Yep.
All right, what's the pull?
Nothing yet.
So Joe's going for a pull here.
It's just my trooper, my last trooper.
Okay. Gotcha. Last trooper. So guys moving from the northwest here. So Sab's still to activate, Sabine's still to activate, so you don't want to deep dive those rebels too deep, because then you
Yeah.
just have the other units just zip past you, right? And then you're playing the catch-up game
Yeah.
in the wrong direction.
He is kind of in a bit of a jam though. So he's got this speed tube. Man, I forget how tight Skirmish is.
I know.
Oh man,
Touch.
my Vader senses are tingling right now. Thinking about how fast I can get in on somebody right now.
Oh, Vader's a monster in Skirmish.
Oh yeah, he's a
He's
good
an
one.
absolute monster.
I
been
played Vader a couple just 2 weeks before LVO in Skirmish with the double Taw and Leia Chewie list, and I just ran around everything until Vader got to me, and then I just fed him my naked rebel troopers and just ran everything to the end because there's nothing I can do about him. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the objective, but he's pretty disgusting. He can make plays right off the bat. I mean, the ability he could probably get in and choke on like turn 1 if you scout out or make any sort of mistakes and come too close.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Although I will say, one card that is completely useless in Skirmish if you're playing Vader, Darkness Descends.
Correct. I agree.
Unless you
What's
want
the
the
point?
surge tokens. I will say, it's actually
Okay.
not as bad of an opener as you might think,
Uh-huh.
because giving Vader surges is awesome.
Hmm.
So just playing it, not even infiltrating with it, just playing it as your turn 1, giving an order to Vader and giving him 2 surge tokens. If you're running Saber Throw in this format, it's not bad because you give him surges on that Saber Throw, and that's probably the only turn in the game he's going to be Saber Throwing.
Yeah.
With how fast you can close.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily awful. It's not necessarily great.
Yeah,
But the
and-
nice thing
and-
about it is you have a choice in Skirmish because you can bring a 7-card command hand, but you're only playing 5 rounds.
Is it range 3? Is it outside of range 3 or outside of range 2?
For Darkness Descends, it is outside 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was wondering, I was looking at that and I'm like, oh, he could tuck back behind that temple, but maybe that's probably that's probably inside of 3.
It is 1 range higher than Rapid
Rapid.
Reinforcements.
Yeah.
So
Because
bomb
starting
is
Vader at range
out.
2. Yeah. What was
Bombs
that?
up.
Bomb is out.
Bombs out. Ooh, bombs out. That RT gonna get hit. Oh boy.
think
Next
Key-
right away.
Key's now
Did he
contemplating.
move and throw it?
Yeah, he had to. Well, he had to because he was buried deep in that stair crevice there. So
Yeah.
the move and throw here
So
looks like only
I like
one
this bomb.
Saboteur could be hit. I don't know if it reaches
Man,
those
I-
rebel troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh
just...
yeah,
Ooh.
it got it.
I
Yeah,
think he's got
There
It's
you
got him.
go. All right. Yeah, I think this is actually a good debt here, just to get the suppression as well on
Yeah.
the troopers.
Man, I would almost save it till the beginning of the next turn because it's just going to be cleared at the end of the round.
Got Sabine left to move.
That's fair. It's interesting though because you have to make sure. I mean, at that point, you have to see because that RT with where that RT is positioned, with a speed 2 move, it could get out of the debt range. I think.
yeah,
It can, for sure.
So, if, for example, Joe was to play like an ambush or something like that,
Mhm.
which I don't know if he's packing. He has to be packing.
well,
even
here's
without it.
here's the thing. Do you pop an ambush? Do you move that? That RT over? Actually, flame the saboteurs and have no detonation at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The
I
question,
mean,
yeah. So if you can move up, touch, and ambush, and then flame either the Sabs or the Rebel Troopers, either is fine because an RT can take a Sab hit,
mhm.
and then you just kill them on the next one because they got nowhere to go
Yeah.
unless they double move to try to get out of there, which then your Rebel Troopers might be able to capitalize on. So
Yeah, it's an interesting call here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I think you debt now because then you try to contest priority and debt again at the beginning of next year.
Here's my question: where is the unit leader in that squad?
The unit leader is the one that'll be on the north side because the
Okay.
unit leader has to throw the token.
No. I'm saying in the rebel squad that would get hit because I'm wondering if that
Oh,
blows
that's the
up.
leader up front, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, if he picks up that model, would that potentially cause him to be out of range for the next bomb?
Yeah, that would. If he
yeah.
does
Yeah.
pick up that bomb.
Yep.
Now the question is, can the dude behind the leader see the bomb? Because
Yeah,
the dude
it's hard
behind
to
which
tell.
it's hard to tell from here, but if he can see around that wall and see the bomb, that would be the first one to die.
Yep. Yeah.
So Sabine's coming out from the tree here. Just if you're wondering where that speed 3 is coming out. So Sabine
Okay.
with the jump, speed 3. There was no,
Okay.
there was chose not to detonate. I just confirmed with the players that they were moving to the next activation. Joe is
I
out
think
of
he's gonna
activation,
go.
so
He's gonna go for the
Hey,
last first.
everyone
there.
who's participating, take a drink because I got a prediction wrong. So yeah, so now Sabine, we're gonna see if she can see from her. She may be able to someone that isn't that unit leader, but if it is just that unit leader, again that could be problematic for getting it outside of the range of the bomb.
Yeah.
Pierce 1.
So she's
All
gonna
right.
gunslinger. It looks like. I'm guessing the RT and then that rebel trooper squad.
yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Yikes.
oh no!
Yeah,
That's
and here
not
comes.
what you want to see.
Oh man. Here comes the shot on the rebels here. He
you're-
looks
Yep.
like he's got range.
Yep.
And she's got
This is the one you want paint on.
Yeah.
How many of those rebel troopers can you see?
Yeah. I can just see the one.
Just the one? Okay.
Heavy cover.
Just the leader. Okay.
You have sharpshooter? Do
Pierce 1.
you have sharpshooter? No sharpshooter.
I don't think she has sharpshooter.
Not on that one.
She is a sharp one.
I'm just letting them confirm.
No. Speed does he not have sharpshooter?
I actually don't know off the top of my head because I don't play Rebels.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got two Imperial players and
there we go.
two Imperial and / new faction players commentating on a Rebel versus Rebel game. Sean, where are you when we need you to comment? Not
Yeah.
quite.
I just play Tauntauns, I think. Isn't that what everybody does?
Yeah. Sean doesn't even know what the rest of the units in the faction do. He just hopped
There's-
on the Tauntaun.
There's other units?
Sean, have you ever used the keyword low profile?
No.
What's
that
duck
do?
and cover? I heard duck and cover's cheaper now.
What about Danger Sense? Side note, though, I'm real hyped for Cassian to hit tables.
Oh man,
Well,
yeah, for
I
sure.
want to see a new cool archetype come out of that with like just deploying against an army and seeing like, okay, so
Just-
I'm going to um basically rogue one you and show up everywhere
Yeah,
with like 2 paths and Jin, and depending on what Cassian can bring to the table too.
super thematic.
It just
Yeah.
going with super, it's like, hey, you guys are everywhere. What from the beginning?
Yeah.
So players are ready to go. They're just confirming. So bomb is out. I don't think we had any casualties that round. A couple token, one damage onto the to the RT that round. We got Sabine in a great position, but Flamer RT in a great position as well. So, Brad, want to do some predictions? So stream that's thirsty can take some drinks. What do you got? What do you got? Oh, and Paul Watson is also saying in stream here,
All
stop making him take drinks. He's trying to paint over there. So
I mean, I'm trying.
as long as
trying.
Paul posts those whatever he's painted to our page, I'm happy with that. So I want to see some cat eyes, some squirrely paint jobs, and some psychedelic colors on his whatever he's painting. He's
I will
probably
say-
painting bark speeders, probably.
I'm guessing
Yeah,
he's painting
I will say
his
with-
new
yeah.
his new boxes that came out tonight, right?
With Paul, I will say, sir, you have inspired me. I'm actually running
Just go straight up.
in a tournament on TTS that's going on right now. I'm running triple barks in this first round.
Nice.
So with the LTAs. So if you have any tips, send them my way. I could use them.
Did you buy your hipster T-shirt yet?
I have not.
Okay, because you're
Although
officially.
to be fair, though, I basically am a hipster because I've been running Vader competitively.
Yeah,
That's fair.
true.
That's fair.
You're
That's
like
fair.
So-
the original-
Yeah, that's fair.
Though I feel bad though because I got my invite with a Krennic Shoreline.
Oh,
All
To
right,
be fair, it had a tank, so
Yeah.
it wasn't complete meta. But
yeah.
cards are going. All right, looks like we have
Ooh,
change of
Oh, he
plans.
called the change of. He called the explosions. Got him.
Okay,
Got him.
so Joe's just reading this. Let me just summarize the card. It's really bad for you.
Thinking. Oh, like change your plans. Got something horrible coming.
So are you making Keith make another decision?
I am.
Okay.
Play the generic one pip and put it on the Sab.
Oh man! So talking about power of command cards, on the on a podcast I heard recently, there was a commentation. You know, this is kind of this is kind of known in the meta and stuff like that, but Given to Your Anger is kind of widely considered one of, if not the strongest command cards in
Yeah.
the game because
Yeah.
it's so good. So we got Reckless versus Sabotage. Okay, so that's actually really good because that means
Your opponent must
only
issue orders
one
to Fury
unit
indicated on
Mm-hmm.
is going
Gets-
to be able to
gets
get
the
Reckless.
Reckless.
That it just
Yep.
gets focused. That's actually
Yep.
really good. That's actually a good counter into a good counter. I like
Yep.
that. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But Given to Your Anger is kind of considered, like the strongest command card. I will say Change of Plans is second for me. Change of Plans is so good. Just because it gives you that out of dodging and now you will die, or a Son of Skywalker, or an explosions, or a even a Master of Evil if we jump up to the 3 pips.
Man, I like Double the Fall.
Mm-hmm.
Double the Fall shuts stuff down pretty hard too.
That's fair
Like,
as well. Double the
Yeah.
Falls are really good for those 1 pips as well.
It's like,
nice thing-
you put just your order on Luke, put Luke back in your 11 activation bag. See when you're gonna,
Yeah, I'm scared. Dooku scares me. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
he's good.
I'm glad that I didn't see Double the. Did you play Double the Fall in our game? I don't think
I
you
didn't. I didn't. No, I didn't.
We didn't get to that point. I'm kind of happy that didn't pop up. But no, Double the Fall really strong too. Another one of those counter cards. These counter cards get really good. Deploy the Garrison, another one that's kind of a counter.
Yeah.
That you can see come, especially when paired with Cunning. Oh boy.
Sab bomb coming out
So
early.
there's
No,
the second bomb. Now
Take your second action to back out of range, right?
Yeah.
yes, absolutely get
Yeah.
the heck out of there,
Yeah.
and then use your opponent's actions to blow it.
Yeah.
Because you'll blow 1 here. When you move out, you'll blow 1,
Mhm.
and then depending on whatever the first action of a unit in range is, you're probably going to either lose the Rebel Troopers or the RT as a target, but then you blow the other one.
Yeah.
Because he did not move to place this one.
if given the choice, he can actually choose to blow more than one.
So
No.
No,
Just
'cause
what?
he
Oh
only
no,
has-
because
he only has
just Sabine.
one.
Yeah,
He only
that's
has
right.
one stab.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Sabine has
Yeah.
the.
It's
Yeah.
to the edge, I believe.
It's to the
Yeah.
edge of that.
So he only has the ability to
he
blow
leaves
one
it
at a time
within,
based off an
doesn't he?
action.
Yep.
That's why the triple stab list, especially ones that were run like by Daniel Lupo, in like Adepticon last year, were so deadly because you have 3 things of detonate, so you can blow up to 3 bombs at once when you have a full sab team. I kind of miss sabs. I'm not gonna lie. I hate
And
it.
I am no stranger to a sab list myself. I was
Yes.
running them for a while.
I remember because you were on Krennic sabs for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
4
nasty
medics.
list. Yeah, that was a nasty list.
Sabs who suppress themselves but then can compel doesn't and like
Ooh, I like this
steams.
move.
Yeah. Okay.
I
What do we
really
got?
like. Sorry to cut in. I really like this move of ducking up behind the heavy cover on the north side there, because what it says is, "Hey, ATRT, if you want to come to me, 1, you have to pivot and not shoot
Yep.
me this turn,
Yep.
and 2,
So I'll detonate
I'm
this one.
spreading out your forces against a flamer is really good.
I completely agree. Yeah, that was a smart play.
All right, first bomb
Instead of
coming
just
in.
backing up, going north like that, you're also closer to the objective than you would be if you went straight back. I really like that.
So we're going on the RT first, or what's going on here, Sean?
Just siding here, just checking. Sabine is in range here though, so
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Sabine, what are you doing
Yeah.
up there?
Well, to be fair, honestly, flaming Sabine is awful.
yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
You don't
Yeah.
want to flame Sabine because
R-
although
RT
the chip
RT
damage
first
is
here.
good, throwing the 2 with surge to crit against her is good.
Uh,
Insult rifle? No.
Whoa.
Explosion.
What's your bomb throw? Is that correct for bomb?
Yeah, it's red and 2 whites.
Okay,
Yeah.
cakes.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, that's
Explosions is 1 red, 1 white. Proton bombs are 1 red, 2 white
Right.
for rebels. Yeah. Instead of having suppressive, they get the extra die.
Slide that over. Oh, that was a save off that for the RT.
That RT is doing work.
Hey, must have taken some lessons from some E-webs. That'll surge crit.
That's into
Nice.
the Rebel Troopers, probably?
Yeah, Rebel Troopers here. Yep.
Is it impact 2?
Surge, crit, and blast.
It's impact
it-
1, but it's blast.
but it's blast, so no cover there, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And don't forget your suppression after this too. All right, Rebel Troopers.
Yep.
Double blank.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, hold on. Judge call.
What's
Judge
up?
call. The minis in the defending unit need to actually see the mine that's detonating in order to be a
Yeah.
legal target.
I think. Yeah. Hold on. Joe, just verify for me. I'm a little bit further away. It looks in the top like you could only one of those minis can see, but can you just check the angle of that piece of terrain? Can that second guy actually see to the bomb where you pulled that
Yeah.
second guy?
It's the same
ang-
as doing an
Oh.
attack.
Yeah,
None of
it's-
these,
Yes.
it
So
was like this.
okay. So
I could
none of
see
those
like
two probably
that.
can, but can you see 2 or can you only see 1?
From that bomb.
Yeah. Or Joe can probably check better.
See, I can see the commander, the DeRosa's head, and
Okay.
this guy's
Okay.
gun.
Okay, then you can pull
Okay,
2. You
okay.
can pull 2 then, but it can't be the
Yeah.
first guy you grab though. Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
this guy-
Okay,
this guy
exactly. There we go.
Makes no difference
Yep.
to me.
Yep, we got it.
Fair enough. It's,
Pull
yeah.
the bomb token too, please.
Oh, I gotta fire on Sabine.
Oh yes, Sabine. Yep. Surge crit.
She's gonna have to make a save.
Yep. Sabine safe.
Chip damage is Sabine's worst enemy.
There it is.
Yep, there it is. That's exactly why.
And you know what? I would even argue suppression's Sabine's worst enemy. So
That too.
you know, hey,
Yeah.
Yep.
Although she
Pile.
likes this, she likes the 1 because this will actually give her
It's
light cover
suppression
against
on
the
Sabine as well.
ATRT.
Oh, okay.
If the ATRT, well, it's a flamer. Never mind.
it's
Okay.
yeah.
So we got a hot take coming from chat that I'm gonna
Oh.
answer.
Sure.
What's that?
So Vader solo or Vader Bosk? So this is actually
800
kind
or
of
500?
I'm gonna roll off suppression.
I'm guessing 800.
one. If it's, I'm assuming 800. I'm gonna answer for 800.
Okay.
So I am a solo Vader guy. I really like running Vader, especially alongside Storms right now with the new command hearts, because I'm crazy. I like to run all 6 Vader commands that are going to be coming up here. That's my personal taste. However, I'd say the other major North American competitive player who likes playing Vader a lot that comes to mind would be Mike Berry of the Notorious Scoundrels, Dashes on the Discord. He's also a big Vader fan. He prefers Vader Bosk. They both have their merits especially with the new cards coming in. It just depends on what you're looking for. So I'm a solo Vader guy. I like building around Vader and making my list work around Vader. However, Mike on the other side likes to work with having Bosk in there to give some long-range suppressive, some crits, stuff like that. You end up just sacrificing some Vader cards in order to do that. And you need to make sure that you have the ability to get orders on both Vader and Bosk on the turns that you're not able to. And that's the hardest part about that list.
So here's my hot take, opinionated question: Commander Vader or Operative Vader?
I'm a commander guy. I like the extra 2 health.
Real hot take here. Shots into Sabine. Z6 is Rebel Squad here.
Hey, there's a crit.
Yep.
Or chip damage.
Yeah.
Goes away for cover.
Yep. Gone.
And
Yep.
devastating the crit.
Oh, Sabine
Oh,
2.
man.
Oof. Yep, the chip damage is the worst. It's the absolute worst on the Boba's the same way. So responding to Christopher Zenga in the chat, hot take, triple tauns Luke Leia or triple tauns Tug Leia? Triple tauns Leia Sabine, sir.
Triple Taun's Operative Luke generic
Triple
officer.
rotary
R2.
operative Luke.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's the hotness. I've played against Paul on TTS when he played that list, and it was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, Operative Luke plus RTs is good. It's scary.
So good.
It's
so
scary.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
good against Tawns too, which is the scary part.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. That serves your credit. Okay, looks like
Man,
we got a
just-
ring.
He just made me one shot one of my own units
Right?
with that like strings card. Dude,
Serve your master well is so
Yeah.
fun. It's so fun.
Operative Luke is the hotness. I'm telling you.
I'm going to just say this. If I had Operative Luke in my game versus Gus, I would have made everything, or the most potent thing, shoot his E-Web as well. Because Death Troopers, E-Web is now the new enemy of the podcast.
Oh man. Okay.
It's like
Put the
cryptid-
bounty out on all
It's like-
UMs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But jumping back to a previous point while we're waiting the players to come up with what they're doing next. Commander Vader versus Operative Vader. Both have their perks.
Yeah. For sure.
It depends on what kind of listening. I like Operative Vader paired with Krennic.
I do too.
If you're going to build a Vader Krennic list, I think that's what you go for, because a lot of times the Infinite Courage plus Compel, while it's neat, is not necessarily necessary. But you're not going to get to that panic threshold.
It's also just nice to be able to spur more often and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, being able to compel, because you can spur off a compel move,
Yep.
which is awesome for engaging, just to make sure you get in there. All right, and here comes a rollout from the ATRT, it looks like. No, this is a Rebel Trooper squad, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, we got
I think I
Rebel
saw
Troopers RT at the RT.
Oh, it's just crit fishing.
Yep.
Nothing.
With an aim,
Do they
though.
have an aim?
Yep.
Here comes the aim.
Ugh, nothing.
Plink off the
Yep.
armor. But yeah, specifically with those two. So I like Operative Vader's kit. I like when I can use him as a piece separate from the main army. You know, when you can use Darkness Descends to like have the potential for a deep strike on like the enemy's boxes during recovery supplies or something like that. I really like being able to leverage that. And then also, you know, if you deploy closer, use Compel, it's really good to get in. But for me, especially when you have people like Obi-Wan, Operative Luke, General Grievous, Count Dooku in the meta that are popping up, I don't think Operative Vader wins those fights one-on-one. Commander Vader's 2 extra health really helps him out in saber-on-saber fights, which is where you want to use Vader if you come across against another saber user. Although I will say that didn't actually happen in my game with Joe, though, where Vader and Dooku just ignored each other and went after each other.
Yeah, we just went into each other's gun lines, basically. But you know what? The one thing I was thinking I like about Operative Vader, after having played a lot of Dooku recently, is that he has Scatter on his ranged weapon, and he has Relentless on his Speed 2 move.
Yep.
Which is kind of like a combination I'm constantly wishing I had on Dooku for more than one turn.
Absolutely.
It's like move into range 2, scatter something closer, move in, choke it. you're not going to trigger Relentless, but you're like going to be able to move into melee, keep yourself safe, still choke out a heavy next turn, choke again, double move, Relentless. You know, there's like a lot of interesting combos you can pull off with that model if you set stuff up correctly. And I see people, you know, make some cool plays with that.
Yep. I do really like the model. I like the kit that it comes with. I will say, someone mentioning in the chat, more core specifically. You always want to run more core in Legion, but with the operative being 20 less points, that's actually kind of not true. Operative Vader technically costs 30 points more than Commander Vader because you're required to take another commander with him.
Yeah.
So you get an extra activation out of it, but like, for example, when you're running Operative Vader, you're typically running it alongside an officer. But those points have to be accounted for when you choose to take Operative Vader because they come with the package.
Yep.
Because it's impossible to you can't just take Operative Vader alone. So he technically costs 30 points more, but you do get an activation for the deal. And even before Operative Vader, you know, we saw a lot of stuff with Operative Vader. I was exploring running Commander Vader alongside an Imperial officer instead of like a naked Stormtrooper or something like that, because it gave me a point of Inspire, it gave me a second Courage bubble, it gave me a point of Spotter. Ooh, we got a flame coming in.
Who we hitting here? Who we hitting?
So the players are just
short of the Rebel Troopers. So it
Yeah.
looks like the Rebel officer.
Yeah, so players are just having a discussion before that. Just when you guys were talking, they were Joe was just figuring out exactly when the trigger point is, and it's after the action. Sabine was at range 1 of the flamer prior to the move, so he was just contemplating whether it was going to be a move afterwards, shoot Sabine first. But looks like they've settled out on moving here, and
just to avoid the bomb, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yep. I like that, to avoid the point of impact coming in. Going into the officer here kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But did proc a wound there.
To get a wound, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's more about, hey, he's still advancing towards that deployment zone.
Yeah,
as
let's
long as
not-
he can stay healthy.
Yeah, just pop that
I mean,
token.
and yeah.
Sabine's pulled. That's fine.
But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that's like the least optimal choice.
Go ahead.
You're throwing 2 dice. Yeah.
He's in a real good position if he survives the turn, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like a really good position.
Yeah.
So, quick
Sabine.
side note.
Yep, go ahead.
Ooh, Sabine's going.
Sabine's been pulled here, so
Okay. So as he's deciding what he's going to do, so there's I had a little inspiration come up recently for my next painting project for my clones.
Oh, let's hear it.
I was originally gonna do Coruscant Guard for my phase 1s and 501st for my phase 2s.
Okay.
But for the last few days here, I have been out of nowhere on a huge Tron kick.
Interesting.
So I'm considering painting all of my clones like they were in
Fluorescent.
Tron, with
Like,
black gloss, fluorescent stuff like that. What do you guys think?
man, do it. That'd be really unique. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Sean,
Man.
you're the artsy one of the pair. What do you think?
I've seen some really good Tron designs for sure. How are you going to do the lining on it?
So what I was thinking, and I'm still relatively new to the hobby, so maybe you can give me some tips here. But what I was thinking was going with prime black, and then do a white underpaint, and then come in with a fluorescent over the top of the white underpaint and try to do the lining, you know, similar to, like, you know, if you look at like Rex's markings and stuff, trying to mimic what the actual markings are with that. So that way when the fluorescent hits it and stuff, it is still like Rex's markings or like a 501st squad's markings that you see, but they're glowing and stuff like that. And then maybe drawing some extra lines in so you get like those nice Tron suit like lines going down them.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I know that Vallejo makes some nice fluorescent paints.
Yeah.
I'm also like, so are you gonna do some like object source lighting and like make it look like it's really glowing and?
Well, one thing I was looking into specifically for this was if I do the white underpaint, you know, it's going to give me the option to, if I use like a glaze to go over that, then it actually kind of brings a little bit of that OSL. I need to do more research on OSL and figure out how to actually do it. But from what I've heard, you know, having that glaze kind of bleeding over onto the black can help blend into that. and at least give a base of just a little bit of the tint over the black and see what happens.
What are your thoughts on that, Sean?
I do primarily most of my OSL using airbrush, just because I find I can do a lot more feathering with that. So I haven't done any glaze work, but just back to your previous point about the Vallejo series, if you check out the Mecha line by Vallejo, it's a lot of the stuff they use for like the Gundam stuff. They have some really sharp paints in that. Got a roll coming in here. That white
double
dice,
crit.
yeah, it's a white blank dice. There we go. Thank you very much.
So that's you, Sabine.
Two crits, yeah. 2 crits in the RT here.
Okay,
That's good.
nice.
2 crits into the RT with Pierce. Was that with
Yeah.
Pierce 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have gotten rid of. Yeah, that's really good getting those wounds in there.
Yeah, RT on 3 now.
And then I'll gunsling
Okay.
into those troopers.
And then
We got here comes the gunslinger.
Yep. Just one. Sabine just not rolling out good to her.
Would have touching it, but yeah.
Well, I think I got you.
So that should be a wound and a suppression. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're just confirming who can see what here. So.
So you did break up a little bit for me, Sean. What was the specific line that you mentioned?
Sorry. It's the Mecha line. I think it's MECHA. Typically, they use them for like Gundams or things along those lines. So they do a lot of fluorescence. I used a bunch of the colors from that line to do the Felucia table. So if you're right along lines of the Tron and those sort of iridescent or brighter paints, that line's pretty sharp. So.
Actually, I'd like to add that, and this is unrelated, but that mecha line is actually awesome because they make some really good colored metallics in that line too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a red and a blue like metallic to use for like the House Tully shields for the Game of Thrones miniatures game. But I'm sure you can find like really interesting uses for that, maybe on a bark speeder or something too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so
Although my bark speeders, I'm trying to paint them like light cycles, so we'll see what happens.
okay,
So-
man, you should just LED up that. I mean, like,
Right?
I was putting one of my bark speeders together for the first time last night, and I was like, man, this thing really is super moddable. The way that it's like split in half, I'm like, you could really like drill in and magnetize everything pretty nicely on that thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting into that too because I ended up. I just recently went and got a whole bunch of magnets for magnetization work.
Yeah,
The bark has so much potential for magnetization. It's insane.
dude, I am just thinking, I'm like, if you can somehow put some LEDs on the bottom of that thing so it looks like it's like hovering and lights are glowing out of the bottom.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
lose
get
it.
like the underlighting. I'd love to. Do that.
Yeah, I would lose it.
Let me ask you this: Are you guys a little bit worried about the evac plan of these rebel troopers now that we
Oh,
have?
absolutely. In my mind, they're already written off as dead. They're gone. Abandon that one. Take your other rebel trooper squad that's currently hiding behind the temple, and they need to double move north immediately.
He's
this
honestly
turn.
set up a pretty nice little pincer position here.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I mean, you can take a drink for my ill prediction, but I actually thought Sabine was going to... Sabine is in the position I thought Sabine was going to be in. However, I didn't predict the move north. I kind of predicted 2 westerly moves, so I'm a little concerned that Sabine's maybe 1 turn too
There's a
late.
save.
a crit into a save.
Hey, darkness rises and light to meet it.
Yeah.
Although in this case, light rises and light to meet it.
Yeah.
I've used that Snoke quote way too much for what it's actually worth.
Oh man, so just if you guys want to just nerd out about Star Wars for a second, just in general, speaking of snow quotes. So right now I'm listening to the novelization of Revenge of the Sith on audiobook.
Good one.
It's so much better than I possibly would have imagined. I don't know if you guys are into audiobooks out there. I try to make it through like all the canonical ones, and now I've pretty much read or listened to all the Disney ones. So I'm going back through like some of the Legends or the expanded universe stuff from before the Disney merger. And a friend of mine at work, Rob, recommended the novelization of Revenge of the Sith because he's like, dude, it makes that story so much better. You hear like the internal monologue of Palpatine and Obi-Wan and Anakin like the whole time, and it adds so much weight to the story.
Nice roll.
Great shot.
Heavy cover still here because suppression light cover.
Yeah.
But still, the sneak 2 through here is really good for Keith.
Ooh, that's real good on a 4-man Rebel Trooper squad and
one
save.
goes. Yeah.
There you
one
go.
goes.
Honestly, getting that wound through is everything here. Because
Yeah,
now that's
for
one
sure.
wound closer to the Z6, because it's just the Z6 and the leader now with suppression.
Nice.
But yeah, no, 100% recommend if you have not read the Revenge of the Sith novelization. It is amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments. How far are you in, Joe?
So, the opera scene already happened. I think Obi-Wan just got on the ship to go to Utapau to chase down Grievous. Yeah.
All right, you got some good stuff coming up. One of my favorite bits is specifically when Anakin goes to the Jedi Temple. There's some stuff that's in the book that's not in the movie, and there's some really dark bits there that are really cool.
There's a conversation that happens between Dooku and Palpatine in the beginning that's not seen on screen. Like in that room where Palpatine's like locked up to that chair and Dooku's about to fight Anakin and Obi-Wan. That was an awesome exchange that added a lot to that whole scene. So it's a great book. I highly recommend it. I think it's probably the best novelization. You could probably skip a lot of them, but that one's worth checking out.
Revenge of the Sith, honestly, is, I think, just whether it's the novelization or even parts of the movie and stuff, I think is actually kind of underrated.
Me too.
There's some really good stuff there. I actually did for reference, I'm young.
Okay.
I'm pretty young. I'm 24.
Okay.
So pretty young when it comes to this hobby. You know, Luke Cook and a couple other guys. We were looking at like trying to go clubbing while we were in Vegas, and we ended up just being way too tired to do any of that.
Yeah.
Ooh, good shot here from Z6.
Bring a couple of those more.
surges, though.
There's one dice off cam there that is a blank, but bring all the positive results in.
So I say good shot because I'm so used to just seeing paint and having it count as an Imperial player.
Yep. And then you're like, oh, those are all surges.
Yeah.
And unlike droids, you're probably not ever taking aggressive tactics on rebels.
All that to make Keith roll 0 dice. Or, yeah. Chat comment here. Mark was liking how the dice rolls are looking and how they work out. Yeah, it's definitely one of the better parts of the stream. So the white causes us to have to change the color correction a little bit, so the dice are just a slightly lighter than they will be. But when you're on the more yellow backgrounds, the sand colors, they tend to pop a little bit more. You can see kind of some of the tokens are a little bit shaded as well. That's just to bring up the white so we don't have as much shadow. One thing we're trying to really go for is no shadows on the table, but hopefully that's working out for you guys. Cheers.
Really like the setup here. I'm gonna have to maybe steal some of your tricks if I ever set up one of my own here in my place.
Well, it won't take you very much, just about 4 months worth of research. This is what it took me to get here, but learning everything on my own, and yeah, but it's been pretty fun. It's actually been an interesting part of the hobby that's not necessarily directly related to Star Wars.
Excellent. But yeah, circling back to my previous point, is we're seeing some dice rolled here. It looks like an aim coming out. What is this specifically? Ooh, there's a crit.
Yep.
Sniper?
Nothing.
There is no sniper, so who's rolling that?
Keith, that was a shot from your commander. Yep.
Oh, pistol.
The
Commander pistol.
Wow,
Yeah.
the coveted commander pistol.
What
Into
breaks?
the RT.
Ever
Yeah.
expects-
Yeah.
No one expects the commander pistol.
Wow. That guy
Nice.
does something in your army? That's awesome.
Wait, he does something besides give a dodge token to Luke?
Right.
Oh man. But anyway, yeah, with me being young in this hobby relatively, I actually did a school project where I analyzed Revenge of the Sith.
Nice.
And a lot of stuff that went into it, specifically from like referencing, what texts Lucas looked into, and stuff like that. There's a lot of
some hero's journey, like
here's journey for the original Star Wars, specifically the original. A New Hope is 100% hero's journey.
Yep.
And that's kind of cool because there's a lot of Star Wars is kind of referred to sometimes as like a modern mythology. because there's a lot of references to like Greek mythology.
Just
a
flash
lot of
that
those
for us.
stories are told and that kind of stuff. But with Revenge of the Sith in particular, there's a lot of really deep stuff that goes. There's a lot of really interesting political commentary that happens in it.
Sure.
Specifically warning about the dangers of corruption and democracy and stuff like that. And it's even though it's just kind of plays out in the background, it's still there and it's interesting commentary. And there's a lot of parallels to Paradise
Shoot away.
Lost in Revenge of the because Anakin is like in comparison to the movie Paradise Lost, one of the main that's about like Lucifer's fall from heaven and stuff like that. And it was not an unintentional choice to have Anakin on a lava planet when he falls.
Fair enough. It's like
Vader,
hell,
so-
basically.
Yeah, it's basically hell, and Anakin in that story is Lucifer.
Interesting.
It's the chosen one, the favorite that falls to the dark side, and there's a lot of those parallels that they brought there, and it really actually kind of brought up my appreciation of Revenge of the Sith, because of Lucas specifically paid
nice
attention
shot.
to that. Woohoo! Chewie, there you go.
Yeah, Chewie coming in here on Sabine with an
Nice.
aim.
Coming in
what's
hot.
he? Oh, no.
Oh, there we go.
So heavy cover.
So that's
Okay, so
two?
heavy cover.
Three
Yeah,
saves?
reduce there. Sabine will roll 3 for impervious.
Oh boy, let's see if this roll's better than your Grievous roll, Joe.
Yeah, let's. Don't remind me. Oh,
Slide that other one. Oh, 2 in.
Oh,
Okay.
kill one wound.
Take a
Pierce.
wound.
Oh,
Yep.
well, Pierce 1 impact one, but that's
Yep, she'll take 1 wound.
Yeah,
Yep.
Pierce 1.
For
Then
all
you got
those-
the
And that gets rid of the crit. Like
For all
the
those
crit
watching,
goes-
what I was
goes 'cause
referencing
she
there is when
rolled,
Joe and I
block,
played it
the block, yeah.
So we're good. Yeah. Good rolls. Good rolls.
Grievous or
You got 2 damage.
Vader went in to attack Grievous on the turn that Grievous used, trained in your Jedi arts.
Uh-huh.
So Grievous had a dodge. Vader goes in, rolls 4 hits, which was subpar for me on the attack. I'm like, well, this probably isn't going to do much because he is impervious. So he dodges 1 and he rolls 6 dice against my 3 wounds that are threatening
There's
Grievous.
only 2 damage, and you block both
Rolls
of them.
3 blanks and 3 hits. And pierce all 3 of
Pierce
those.
1.
Yeah.
Still going to take a
Grievous
little.
Oh,
in
I'm
the
sorry.
back.
I assume that because of Pierce she's impervious. She gets extra dice.
Correct.
Try to block.
Yes.
So if I roll
Okay.
all 3, that
Players just
So that's
sorting
only
out how
one
the
one
impervious
damage.
keyword
There you
here
go.
works. So
Okay.
Yeah, I was-
we kind of just
And I don't-
yeah. So obviously here on Friday Night Fights, we kind of let the player. We'll sort the players out if they can't get it, but I like them to work through some of their own stuff. Best way to learn is to kind of talk through it. So
You get damage. I'm like, why you don't have?
Yeah.
You get like.
And honestly, yeah, that is 100%. That's how I learned Legion.
Yeah, real good.
yeah.
So
The first game I ever played. Okay, so that's an ATRT coming up.
That's
First
correct.
game I ever played on stream. It was in Invader League Season 2,
Come on, waste your.
and I
waste
decided to
your
try out a
rolls.
Weiss ATST.
the thing is, it's kind of.
And David Zelenka was casting it. Endless
Remember, I have
for all
to-
those in the Discord
Unless
community
you
at the
get
time.
close enough to me,
And at one point,
I can't move to you.
he actually said to the chat, he was trying to explain what my methodology of what I was doing was, and he's like,
Hit it. That's a
I'm
good
sorry,
roll.
folks, this is just quite frankly kind of stupid. Because I had managed to get my ATST
It says a single move
stuck
instead of
under a
individual.
tree to the point where I couldn't pivot. And the only way I would get out of it is reversing, and I couldn't shoot at stuff. And it was awful, and I ended up losing that game horribly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
sorry.
best way to learn at Legion is making those mistakes, learning how the rules work, working through and learning how everything works, and just playing the games, getting better, learning over time. And then, you end up playing and actually getting a Worlds invite, Worlds, and have a great time and meet a bunch of people.
ATRT shot coming in here. ATRT
So that's
at
a
ATRT, I believe here.
Yeah, so it's no crits so far.
Nothing.
Ooh.
Oh, too bad that wasn't at a Rebel Trooper squad, because that would have been
Right?
nasty.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
that hurts.
Yeah.
That armor keyword just keeps getting really good in certain
Man.
matchups.
I just feel like when I think about ATRTs with rotaries, that I just see them as like crit machines.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you roll out 5 hits, no crits, it's like, ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think that surge to crit because it's a 25% chance on each die.
Yeah.
So you think
Yeah.
you get it.
I mean, you should be spiking one per roll on average, but those turns you don't. They hurt. I mean, that Flamer RT sitting on 4 wounds. He only needs a couple more damage to get through.
So it looks like Han doing some crazy moves here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shoot
Han's got
it.
to
Weave in. behind ATRTs and around.
Well,
some
that's
heavy cover.
that's a nice thing about Han is like he stays
Han can
behind
do-
an ATRT and he's in heavy cover.
Right.
Yeah. Or runs ahead of him. It doesn't matter.
Or that.
That's
yeah.
fine. I mean, he's
Well,
got a
he's-
tree. He's got a
he's-
tree. He's good.
He's fully healthy and he's got to get in and start making some
Yeah.
plays.
He can make
And-
Sabine start, second guessing what she's doing here.
Yeah, I will say Han is also like deceptively sturdy.
Yeah, I agree.
Uncanny luck
Yeah.
can be really dumb.
Hey, have you guys noticed that the uncanny luck rolls are typically always better than the initial rollout, even though they're the same
yeah.
dice?
It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
It goes.
It's like, oh, blanked out on 3. Oh, never mind. That's actually 3 saves.
My favorite that I saw recently was I think it was like a rotary ATRT got like 5 natty crits into Han or something like that. And he just shrugged it all off and didn't take a single wound.
Of course.
And just said, I'm good. We're fine. Everything's fine here. How are you?
Yeah, everything's fine here. Yes, that's right. So,
John Fowler coming in the chat saying, funny story, in my senior year of high school, my American lit teacher asked if there was any examples of an American epic. I, of course, responded Star Wars. Her answer was a perfect example, except it's not literature.
100% true.
That's hilarious. You know what's funny? Did you ever watch Freaks and Geeks when they're like, they have to do a book report and she's like, you can't do the novelization of Star Wars.
how did you move there, Keith? Did you go? Did you go over your sabs?
You did.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you get to coheed them.
they'll be. Did you go over the commander?
Yeah, whenever both.
Okay, so Joe will actually get to displace them now.
Yeah.
Good lesson learned here. Nope, you're going to use a range 1, and you can place them up to range 1 from their current position. So
Awful if you're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah.
yeah, it actually was very pivotal in my, and it has to be within that, Joe. Within. Yes,
Yes.
and you will get to cohere the other model as well.
Yep.
So
I got a
Now,
funny
I will say,
story.
with displacement here, he does have to put that second model within range 1 of its original position, even with cohesion.
Yes. So that guy's just got to be cohered on the other side. Yeah, within range 1 of the original position, because he can't go
Oh, you said
farther than.
original
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, because he can't be farther than. There you go. Thank you.
That's a weird thing with cohesion and how displacement works.
Yeah.
Is that they all, and this is also something key for Vader's might that I had to learn as well, because Vader's might works the same way. So if you throw a unit with Vader's might, every single mini has to be within range 1 of its original
Yeah.
position.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with like smoke grenades and stuff. If you cohere out of the range 1, you're not getting the benefit
Nice
of
roll.
smoke.
Nice roll.
Ooh, nasty. There we go.
Get it where it doesn't.
Okay. That is at the Rebel Troopers. You'll take 1 away from the cover though, because it will, unless has he negated all that. Can you see the full base, or are you still getting the cover there?
No, he's getting covered because there's a bit of the tree. As
Gotcha.
Well.
Okay.
So light and suppression does that's
N-
still
It,
light.
it will stack, but you have 3 crits, so you cannot take those away.
Okay. Oops. Can I?
Ooh,
Let's bring
what
it.
we got?
Hashtag in the
I have
box.
this bar.
Yeah, hashtag in the box.
Nothing.
And nothing.
Oh,
From what I
nice.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you might have rolled 1 too many saves there anyway, because you would have only had to roll 3.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Rebel dice. They're not going to
Yeah.
make saves
Nope.
anyway.
That is our first activation down.
Yeah.
Wow. We had I mean, the turn's a little bit slower here, but I feel that we're going to have a epic pace pickup here once these flamers get in to start erasing activations per round.
Got 3 troopers left.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite parts about Skirmish is how fast you can play these games.
Oh yeah, you can get
They pick
2 in
up
the time.
so fast. The last 2 rounds just disappear. They're so fast. Compared to playing an 800-point game, it's like you can fit 2.5 games of Skirmish in the point of like a single 800-point game sometimes.
Yep.
It's
I'm-
crazy. I'm going
I'm
to take
looking-
a short break, and I'll be
You
right
bet.
back.
Yeah, I am looking forward here personally to turns 3 and 4 because I think they're going to be messy. Keith's just, what did you pull there, Keith?
My last troopers.
Gotcha,
Sorry.
last trooper. No worries. Yep, thank you.
Getting used to it.
Yep, it's fine.
So I'm gonna move them here.
Everybody's just staying away from that flamer, that flamer range. Although
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's avoidable.
Not the worst idea. Yeah, not
Yeah.
the worst idea.
Shots here at Han.
Okay.
One off cam, but one crit. Yep, one crit coming through. Han with the save. He'll be white, Joe.
No, he's white.
Yeah,
But he gets uncanny.
that's correct. White with uncanny luck. Let's see if it comes through.
Alright.
Rolled a blank there. Oh, never mind. Rolled a hit. Rolled a block.
Okay. So we're on to turn 3.
Suppression, which will go away. Turn 3. All right, we'll pop back over to Joe and myself. And Lord Vader has left us, so we'll just keep the empty chair and keep Brad in spirit here. So there we go. All right, Joe. So we're seeing a lot of activation preservation, not a lot of death right now. We have a couple RTs poised to drop some serious flame. But the other RTs, I mean, the one flamer is quite damaged. So depending on what happens there, what activation order goes, that flamer could be taken off, and then it's just one flamer there to deal with everything else. So I don't think the RTs are going to be out of the question to actually be in the end zone, the rotaries that is, in the end zone and actually be firing on that other flamer RT in the corner. So even if they do a move forward and a one reverse back, it's not out of the question here. So players do have cards in the box. Go ahead.
Explosion's still in play because of that change of plans made him put it away. So
Absolutely.
That's always a
I think
threat,
explosions. I want to see explosions this turn, 100%.
I do too. I think this is the right time to go for it. And I would even put it in that corner, like the corner that Han's in with that Rebel Trooper and that RT.
Yeah, there it is. Now,
Yep.
and there's sorry. So that actually that might get Han out of the danger zone. The nice thing is the Chewie's also there to soak the explosions if he needs to.
Beautiful, yeah.
So and this also, this is gonna give Chewie the tokens too, and then Sabine's gonna walk into that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love me some good Han play. I don't get to see it enough.
Oh, Han's actually really awesome at Skirmish. We've been seeing him more and more. Yeah. So
his command cards are so fun. Han and Chewie. If I ever play Rebels, I do very, very occasionally play Rebels. It's Han and Chewie when I play it because I just really love how they work together. The teamwork shenanigans are awesome. And just like all the tricksy command cards you can pull out. You know, Sabotage Communications is really good in a Han Chewie list because you can just give the order to Chewie if you need to. You know, they get to play around with low profile and unhindered and a lot of those other keywords they get to mess around with. You know, Sorry About the Barbecue is still one of my favorite lists to play at the 800 level. If you get, it's just for fun. If you get a chance to, just running Han, Chewie, and 3 Flamer RTs. And then using HQ uplinks to get them to go first on the Sorry About the Mess turn is a lot of fun.
Question for chat here. I'll pay attention to what's going on here. You guys answer Paul's question. He would like to know what is the new best heavy weapon that came out today and why.
What came out today?
Well,
is it all the specialist packs?
All the specialist packs. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's
go first, Joe.
why don't we do this? Why don't we give our thoughts on best heavy weapon for each new faction, and then we'll collectively pick a winner out of all of them.
So
Okay.
best for each. Okay.
And chat, you guys should be chiming in, all 21 of you in there.
Yeah, let's weigh in. All right, for Rebels, I'm gonna go the new DLT.
Yeah, DLT 20A.
It's
solid.
nice. And here I was gonna say I was building some lists with Jeff Arney, and we were working in a couple of DLTs plus 3 snipers into a Tauntaun line, and I'm like, you actually have a pretty respectable back gun line now, whereas before you were probably just trying to hide all 5 to 6 of your Rebel Trooper naked activations. Now, if you want, you can turn that into a range 3 to 4 gun line that's also got a pretty aggressive front line of tons, which I thought was interesting. You can also pair that with FD.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was about to jump into.
Yep.
I'm excited to see the new Rebel archetype that is range 5 Rebels,
Yeah.
where you're rocking like 2 FDs, 3 snipers, all your cores have DLT 20A, so you're engaging at 4 to 5, where the Empire is engaging at 3 to 4. So
Yep.
you actually get to suppress them out and outrange them and deal some damage that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Now, one warning on the DLT 20A. A lot of Rebel players I've seen are basically basically hailing it as like the second coming of the Z6
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It is not a T-21B.
No.
It is not. It does not have the support that Shores have. You're not going to get the same aim tokens that Shores can get, and you're missing a die. So
Right.
it's not a T-21B. Don't expect a T-21B, but utilize that critical to take some decent pot shots. It's a lot more akin to a DC-15 that the Republic has access to. When you're throwing that, where you're going to be maybe sometimes chip a shot through heavy cover. Mostly use it for suppression. If you know you're engaging it for, it's because you want to suppression. It's not you actually want to deal a wound.
And it actually gives a legitimate alpha strike potential for rebels in turn 1 to get to lay down some suppression. Now, Krennic counters that pretty nicely with compel. But you know, it's definitely it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of people taking them. Looks like we got some measuring going on here.
Yeah, quick game update. The generic officer took 2 more wounds off the Flamer RT shot from Joe. So that's the one that's just at the corner of the ruin. Now we have Sabine activating here, so Keith's going to do a jump up. I think he was measuring, and the Rebel troopers weren't going to be in either bomb range, so I think he's going to opt here for the move. Now the throw, just so that he can actually ensure that I think he's going to catch all 4 units off both bombs.
Move.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so I would agree. I'd say DLT. Okay, so if we're talking Empire, I like the RTC as an option.
All right, I'm actually going to disagree with you here.
Okay.
So say your piece.
My piece is it doesn't replace the DLT for me, but it gives me an option for something with a higher ceiling. You combine that with the precise that's already baked into the stormtroopers. If you want to go nuts, you can maybe even go targeting scopes, or offensive push is probably the better choice. So you're getting aims, and it just feels like a little bit stronger of an anti-infantry.
I'm just going to jump in on both of you here. One sec, Joe. I'm just going to jump in here just for the explosion rolls. We want to make sure we get.
100%.
What's the first target there? Sorry, Joe, and you can come right back in. So
no, I want to see this too
because you got impact on these too, right?
Okay. Okay, so we're going to go Han, Trooper, Chewie, RT.
Han.
RT. Gotcha. So we're going from 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, twice.
First one, RT.
Ooh, is that 2?
1 crit.
They have impact. I can't remember.
No impact. Impact on the blast on that. Yeah.
Oh, it's just blast. Oh.
Blast and surge to crit.
Yeah, surge crit though. Yeah. 1 RT save coming in here. No. 1 wound. Okay.
Yep.
Han next up. This suppression is going to be piled up here quick. Ooh.
Just the one.
Just 1 there.
Just 1.
You want to spend your dodge? No.
No,
I do have a dodge.
don't forget the uncanny luck. Oh, you already rolled, or what are we doing here?
What are we doing? So he's
he backed it up to spend his dodge. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I could use dodge.
Yes, he can. Yeah.
Oh yeah. These are attacks.
Joe was unclear whether the dodge could be spent there on that. 1. Okay.
So that's into the Rebel Troopers.
Yep. Yeah, Rebel Troopers here. Yep. And it's a blank. Next up.
All right.
And Chewbacca.
Chewbacca, who has a dodge. Ooh, there we go.
Ooh, double.
And I'm expecting 2
Spending a
fails
dodge?
while spending the dodge.
Yes.
Yep, dodge spent.
Yep. So probably
One
just
save.
one fail here, unless Chewie's a hero. No.
No.
Whoa, a little bit of a spin there though.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Chewie's
so
still
another,
very healthy. Nothing
Yeah,
to worry about.
Okay.
Chewie's really good here. So
Yeah, Chewie has
Second
Chewie
ball.
has so many wounds.
Yeah.
Insane.
suppression on
every time I
Chewie.
fight him. Okay, so that's into the RT,
Nothing to the RT.
Yeah.
right?
Nothing to the RT.
No. Han next. Nope.
1 to Han.
Just
One.
1.
So that's a
Yeah.
that's one
He's
save for
got
Han.
suppression tokens,
Remember
so
uncanny
go-
luck.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
see
no,
if he
no,
gets
no,
it.
no.
That's
Blast.
Blast.
Yep.
Correct.
We're good. Oh, that's another wound on
Reroll
Han.
Don't forget the uncanny.
Oh, this will be a save right here for sure. Calling it. Got it. I rest my case on Han.
And troopers.
Ooh, 2 into the troopers.
That's good on the troopers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one you want to get double.
No.
Oh, and double wound. There you go.
Yep,
There
double
you go.
wound.
That's what you're looking for. Double suppression, 3 wounds.
Yes.
That's what you want.
That's pretty good explosions.
Yeah, Chewie's still left
Yeah.
though here.
It's Chewie gets
Just
here.
one of the
just
Chewie?
one.
Yeah.
See what he gets.
What it done.
Probably a wound, but is he a hero? Let's find out.
No.
Nope.
So 2 suppression on
Okay,
Han,
that
2
is-
on Chewie.
Like,
Significantly more impressive of a suppression
damage,
of a
yeah.
explosions,
Last
excuse
round.
me, than what happened to me in my round 4 game at LVO. So I played against Ryan
No,
from
he
the
still
Stab
got, Chewie should have 2 damage.
Okay.
because we'd been joking all day that like watch we're gonna end up playing each other round 4 and something, and then it actually
And
happened.
that's my
I
And
remember that explosions.
Yeah.
I was
He-
kind of hovering around.
It's not as
he
devastating.
threw an explosions into my IRG.
Yeah.
So but it was a bunch of shore. It was a sniper, some shores, my IRG, stuff like that, all in the corner, and my IRG just ate all of it and saved basically all of it. He dealt
Well, I'm
2
gonna work on-
wounds with an explosion against like 4 units.
Just
And that's-
flip Sabine's token.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Explosions can be really, really, really good, or sometimes it can just be awful.
Okay,
Guardian
I'm going
is
to-
so good against it.
I gotta go to those.
So let's hear you tell me why the T21 is better than the RTs.
Actually, I heard Brad's going to disagree with the host, and then suddenly his connection dropped. I don't know what happened to Brad, Joe.
Oh, I see how it. I see how it. I see how it is. So-
You can increase that to heavy if you wishes.
The RT97C is
Yep.
the safe pick. That's
Yep.
the one you're just going to 100% see competitive play, because it's basically a DLT that is better at pot shotting at range and works better
Mhm.
with aim.
Yep.
However,
Okay, it has an aim,
the T21,
so
if we're talking about just like raw damage potential and stuff like that out of them,
Oh, yeah.
oh man, that Stormtrooper T21 is so good.
Oh yeah. I mean,
giving
the ceiling
critical-
is really high.
Giving
Yep.
critical 2 to Stormtroopers basically just says I'm going to roll a better Z6 with Surge Crit every
Yeah.
time you. And it cuts through cover like butter.
And he
I'm
has
talking
Pierce,
like
right?
3
Yes,
crits.
Pierce 2.
Especially with an aim, it's like almost feels like a minimum 3 crits when you throw that dice pool.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You can have 2 minis left, throwing 5 dice and still force 2 saves through heavy cover because you roll a natty crit and a surge, and you still have to force saves. So
Yeah.
Sabine's
my
got-
favorite part about the T21, even though it's range 3, even though it's not the safer pick,
still have an aim.
stuff like that, is the ability to just leverage that critical to force saves, and that works really good against droids, and that works really good against rebels because that's how you eat
You
them.
don't stack,
You need to make them roll their defense dice and fail their defense saves and eliminate models. And the T21s are really good at that.
And he's also a sharpshooter.
My
so
favorite build of the
reduce
T21 is if you run a Stormtrooper
You
Captain,
can't stack suppressions.
a T21, and then offensive push
Sean,
on that unit. An offensive
Yeah.
push is an exhaustible upgrade that gives you tactical when you perform a single move. So it allows you to maintain your aim efficiency up, and it combos well with the captain as well, because the captain
Okay, yeah, he did.
allows you, if you're suppressed at the beginning of your activation,
Commanders did.
so this is before, I think it's like before rally, you can choose to exhaust the captain's card, and it basically says if you're suppressed, you're not. You still get to take 2 actions.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and you
guys.
combine that with like an Imperial
Oh,
Discipline.
absolutely. That build, especially with Veers getting that free recover to clear the suppression at the beginning of the next turn and get that option back for you, is really, really scary.
Just need to jump in with a hot take here, folks. If you're paying attention, both Sabine and Generic Officer just killed off Han Gunslinger.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, that makes...
Go hot.
Advance rolls were terrible.
yeah,
Man.
Han Wrecking Crew. Han should have 2 wounds on him. Are they following him around?
They should be. Where are they?
So, me following up here. Nick commenting in the chat, yes, the specialist
No, you
just
shouldn't
gives
have
them
2
an
on
aim
him.
straight
You
up,
should have 1.
but I
He has-
prefer the
he only has
captain
1
for the
because he saved
utility
the
of getting
last-
2 actions,
the
because that
first attack.
also makes those Stormtrooper squads good at
Yeah, you
objectives.
roll off once.
Mhm.
Because you can say, you're trying to suppress out that squad so they only get 1 action so they can't claim a box and run away. For example, they have to choose between the 2. You can pop the captain and be like, I don't care. I'm gonna claim and I'm gonna run behind this building.
Yeah.
And good
It's
luck.
it's a soft Jin command card. It's a soft complete the mission, and I really like it. I agree. I think I think the captain's a little pricey, but maybe one or two in a list it will end up being a thing.
Yep. If you want, it depends on how Imperials. If you were playing in like a brawly Imperial list, like for example Vader, or if you're able to leverage, Veers in more of a brawly style list where you're going in and wanting to engage at 3 instead of 4, which is kind of rare with Imperials these days. But if you want to fight at 3. That storm unit's actually really kind of nice to have at least one of in a pocket. So I actually really like the T-21. I want to find a way to use it a little more often. We got a shot coming out here. Let's see what this is first.
Yeah. RT shot. Oof. Was that RT you just shot there? Oh, that was a Rebel Troopers. Okay, gotcha. That was Rebel Troopers coming
I was
from
like, he picked up the surges.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was Rebel Trooper here down at the bottom.
That's just no bueno. Not even a suppression, even with the reroll. No me gusta. Throwing some Spanish out there. Oh, there's a rally, so that's one suppression move. So they're still going to be. That's going to be one move for that unit over there with the Z6.
Yeah, they're already at range 3 right here, so I think they're just going to take the light cover shot. Actually, it'd be a heavy cover shot here.
You're going to see. Sorry.
No.
Both just Rebel Troopers, man. They need those surges.
Veterans.
You're going to see the RT-97C in competitive play for Imperials 100%. But I do think the T-21 is the better weapon. The question is whether or not you can actually service it or get it to a point where it's going to show its worth in a game.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to see how that shakes out. I mean, Worlds is going to be interesting. 2 new factions. I'm more excited about the shotgun on the clones, especially combining the shotgun with Rex's 2-pip and making it a range 3 pierce weapon.
Rebel Trooper shot getting 3.
You taking a name here. All right, there we go. 4, 2 go away for cover, but still 2 sneaking through. Uncanny luck on Han here. No, won't save these. 1 save coming up here for Han.
Save.
Yep.
Can you roll?
Up to 3. Yeah, so you're rolling 2 of these again. No.
No luck that time.
Jeez. Joe with the call of fire truck on stream there.
I said fa. I said fa la la. I didn't end it with a cut.
All right. Want to grab those dice for me, please? Thank you.
2 new factions.
Oh, sorry.
I will say, I like the clone shotgun. I like the RPS 6 more. Specifically for the utility that you can get out of the RPS 6, where you can get that anti-armor into a clone list without having to take Mark Speeder.
Dude, I disagree, because I think right now you run triple barks, and I think in a month you just run your anti-armor in your armor. And just at least for the next, foreseeable future.
That's fair. I will say what I have been exploring with and having some fun, though, is running 1 RPS 6 and then running a clone captain on that unit specifically to take Overwatch on that unit.
Yep.
So that unit ends up becoming an objective. It's like an all-purpose unit. It can shoot at armor if I need to at range. It can use the captain to go and get objectives without being suppressed. It has an extra black die in there if I just want to take a range 3 shot with the black die. I can leverage standbys from my other clone units to take shots with the RPS 6, so I can shoot with that thing more than once in a turn because of Overwatch and stuff like that. The clone shotgun, my main fear there is range 2 is really weak right now in the meta. You've got Shores, you've got, even while the Pierce is good against Tawns if you can get make them save. I just don't think with clones, especially when they struggle with suppression right now, where they're going to actually struggle between having to choose between moving and shooting, or between, because they only get 1 action. You have to choose to move or shoot. A lot of time your engagements are still at 3. So unless you're bull rushing, and maybe I'm not playing clones correctly, maybe I just haven't figured out the special sauce that makes the shotgun work. I love Pierce. I love it with Rex's new 1-pip, but I also really like the ability to take, even if you're taking triple barks, to take the lower costed twin laser cannon and come in with that to get better anti-trooper stuff, because I want to use my barks versus their troopers, and then have that utility in that 1 unit.
Suppression
is what I've been exploring with.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's my personal take on it. The shotguns, both of them, that one is, I'd say, of all 4 factions, that one is the closest between the two, because I need to play with both of those more and see exactly how which one's going to fit into what role. I need to get more games in with the shotgun, see how much having Pierce on a core unit helps out that isn't a fleet trooper, and stuff like that. There's definitely some good potential for that. I'm excited to see. That's kind of more of a coin flip for me. I wouldn't be surprised to see either one become good for competitive play.
Yeah. At the same time, though, just me looking at the list builders a lot lately, I feel like you can get away with just buying 1 box.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you stack either of those 2 weapons in a list.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 rockets. We'll see.
With the clones, I would say even no. I wouldn't take more than 1 rocket.
That's what I'm saying. I think you could buy 1 box for the clone faction and you're just good.
Yeah, I think you're really good with 1 box for the clone faction, for at least for now. See exactly how things settle out. However, I know I've heard a lot to the contrary of that when it comes to the droids.
Oh man, yeah.
The
Ooh, nice roll.
there's some crits. Is that a rebel trooper again?
Yeah, looks like it.
Because they moved, right?
Yep.
We're getting a little distracted from the game, folks.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's
about
fine.
that. So hopefully you can follow on your screen.
I'm
Some great conversation.
I'm paying attention here.
They're at 5,
Sean's
right?
doing his job,
Yeah.
So they're at 4.
so we can be color commentators.
That's an RT erase there. That they were just confirming wounds there. So that was that.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
that flamer RT was not basically went this turn, put the 1 wound onto the or 2 wounds onto the generic commander, but was 1 move away from potentially just being poised to erase 2 rebel trooper units. So that having that RT erased there basically makes the other RT potentially not in range for the next turn, depending on what happens with those rebel troopers at the bottom.
RT wasn't in range though.
Yeah.
Sean.
That
It was
I will say
broken.
with
Yeah.
For him to
that's
get
actually a
to range.
huge
talking
kill
about the other one.
right there.
Oh
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That was
The
a
X.
huge kill because that was threatening the deploy. That was threatening the objective.
Yep.
So eliminating that is really, really nice.
Uh,
Heroes left. It looks like Han Solo and Chewbacca are left.
Yeah, there's nothing left on the rebel trooper, other rebel trooper side, Keith's side here. He's prematurely assigned the commander token to the saboteurs at the top, so that will be interesting in terms of issuing orders and such. So just based on the range there, I think he may be able to reach range 3, but that'll be interesting to see what happens come next turn.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that a displacement on Han there?
Looks like the RT went over Han, so they're doing, I think, displace right now. Here,
That's
so.
that's rough,
yeah.
especially with Han having 2.
Yes,
If
exactly.
we'll-
Well, especially dropping him up there with the saboteurs. I do not believe the saboteurs have gone this turn either.
So I think he's
we
trying to
could-
drop
yeah,
him
yeah.
into bomb
Oh,
range.
move him into
Absolutely.
range and bomb him to get a
With-
third suppression
Right.
and more
Right.
wounds.
With
Ooh, nice.
with
Clever.
the saboteurs not having gone this turn as well, potentially could see 2 bombs out on Han here.
Yeah. For those watching who like to play rebel vehicles, especially RTs, watch your displacement because
And-
displacement can really mess up your plans.
And tauntauns for that matter, and actually sometimes
Yes.
tauntauns become a little bit trickier because you are running 3. So one of the things I always have to do is make sure that I deploy my avenues when I'm deploying, because you want to deploy them. I'm just going to tauntauns here for a second. You want to typically deploy them late, but because of that, you need to make sure A, you have the placement room for them, and 2, you have that exit plan for them if you don't happen to pull every one of your rebel troopers before your taunts go.
100%.
Do you need more dice?
No, I have 8.
Here
Okay,
comes.
good. Right? 2 for each.
Yeah,
2 for each.
flamer moving in here. Yeah, 2 for each guy. This is
So
could hurt.
choosing to not detonate, was he in range?
I do not believe.
Might have been out of range.
I think Han is just out of range of that bomb there.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is looking
That's still a good roll against those rebel troopers.
really juicy.
Yeah.
He is in range there. Choosing
Okay.
choosing not to, because I wouldn't have been, the displacement wouldn't have been an action, so I don't know if you could trigger off that, right?
That's fair. Displacement
Yeah.
is not an action, so you'd have
Yes.
to do it off this attack. You could then
Yes,
trigger it there.
you can trigger off this attack here, but I think they're going to resolve the attack here first, and then likely the bomb afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most amazing save you've ever seen.
He's got-
3. Not horrible.
Keith was a former hand model, just in
Ooh, I
case you
think
guys
if
were
they-
unaware. So getting getting lots of hand action here
Man,
on stream.
what is this? What are you going to call him? George Costanza?
Fair enough.
Just to preserve the activation there, I think I would consider that a small victory for Keith's rebels.
100%. Getting those 3 saves is key. Just keeping that activation up is going to be
Correct. Yeah.
Because that's another activation that could run in and tie something up in melee before it gets into the
100%.
Like
yeah.
Could waste an action up in RT trying to kill it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'll take an action to kill, which is the biggest part there.
That's right.
If it was Sabine's, it wouldn't be there, right?
Jumping back while they're talking about what the next moves are going to be, droid heavy weapon. For me, honestly, the E5S, straight up, giving droids critical. Getting a range 4 poke, it's solid.
Yeah, it's solid. The poison's seems really fun too, but I think you got to build specific lists around it.
Yeah, I don't know how to break it yet. I want to figure out how to break that. I think it's going to be really fun in skirmish because poison is huge. Like if there's an anti-hero core weapon, it's that one because poison gets around piercing.
Okay, point of discussion here.
Gets at your force users, stuff like that.
Point of discussion here for us and chat. Sorry, game related. The contemplation here is whether to proc that mine. So yes, you'll put a 3rd suppression on Han, but you will also hit the saboteurs prior to their activation, as well as the rebel troopers at
them in the open like that.
No
reason to do it yet. Then Han's already done.
I think you throw the bomb and then you extract the saboteurs north. Get out of bomb range. 100%. If your rebel troopers take it, they take it. They'll only take 1 because the other one will be able to drop further south. So that one will escape the rebels. I mean, you're going to lose 2 at most, but I think there's nothing else that's going to hurt those rebel troopers. They make a double move next turn to get into the end zone. Likely nothing coming after them there unless Chewie wants to go chasing them down, of which he's out of Han range.
Are they having the conversation on whether or not Han has cover? Because he's going to have heavy cover no matter what.
Heavy cover no matter what.
Yeah, he's got suppression on him, so.
Yeah.
Low profile.
Yep.
Coming up on just over a minute remaining in the game.
Yeah, we'll just let them play it out. I've held them for a few minutes on our discussions for command cards, but yeah, we'll just let them play it out. But we usually use the timer more as a frame of reference for the players as to how long they're taking. But in fairness, I think we have cost them a few minutes just based on discussion alone. So.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to go straight to hard dice down on a casual Friday night.
I'm just
we're having too much fun here to stop, right? To go back to your original question, Paul, I'm going Droid Pack is the best pack.
I'd say Droid for bang for your buck. Droid Pack is the best pack too.
Although, are you going to buy 4 or are you going to buy 2 or what do we?
Yeah, I think honestly, there's a legitimate argument to buy 4 of the Droid Pack.
I was wondering why that was even a question. So.
With the exception of I don't understand the security droid.
Oh.
I really don't.
Are you talking about the one that extends range?
No, because the
OM avoids AI.
Extending your coordinate, like I get that. I could see one of those popping up in a list, especially once CIS starts seeing more options where you have a little more spare points where you can't fit a full activation in.
Why would you go security droid? Let me tell you.
Okay. That's the AI attack one, right? Yeah. Please tell me.
Okay. This is my play. Dooku tank list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dooku plays as 1 pip. The tank has link targeting array.
Mm-hmm.
You put uplink on one droid. It chains to all the droids except for the last droid, which has a security droid in it and a comms relay. Gives it to the tank.
Now here's a question: is that last droid? No, it has to be B1. Because I've also seen some interesting stuff with B2s being the end of that chain too.
Oh, you could do the same thing, but except
B2s
in that
would then
case,
have AI.
B2s want to hold their order. They don't want to pass it. But for security droid B1, that's my one use for it. And the way I'm thinking too is that squad is also hidden behind the tank, which is like a line of sight blocker. If you go on TTS right now, you can fit 16 droids behind the tank and keep them out of line of sight.
Nice.
Seems to be a perfect way to escort some poison forward.
There you go.
Nicholas coming in from chat. Anti-Ton tech with the security droid as well.
Yeah, totally.
Anti-jammer tech. I also hadn't thought about that. Anti-jammer tech in 100%. Droids is actually really nice.
And if you're looking at a lot of these droid lists right now, you can cut like a couple extra bodies and just make them security droids instead, and you really still have the points for it.
Yeah, you're not, you're losing like one extra die if you do that, because it's 9 points versus 6 or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You still keep your uplink in there, so that's not worried about getting jammed. But then
it's like a crit to Han.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there, Joe.
No. That was it's anti-jammer tech. So and to go plus 3 points over what you're already paying, it's really not that bad.
Excellent. Okay, yeah, droid pack, best pack then, 100%.
Get 4, or get at least 2.
Honestly, even just getting 3 is fine.
Yeah.
You guys missed it there, but it was a Han blank into a uncanny luck Han reroll into a block.
Well, that's not Han. That's par for the course.
Yeah, that's theme. All right, let's jump back over here. It is turn 4, so I do want to make sure that we are acknowledging our pledgers. So I told them I would put it up a 0 and 4. So just quickly jumping over to the pledge screen here. So big shout outs to Michael Hammond, Nathan Gall, Mike Nielsen, Al Paz, Jeff Arney, and Nick Smith. They have us up to our 270 credits on our way to a 700. Because we're running a face cam tonight, we're not running the in-game cam. So if people are curious, that is actually what will be happening. So we'll have another dedicated camera running all the inside shots, so that we can kind of bring those Sabine plays, that those Han up close and personal shots. That camera will be able to be rotated around as well as it'll be on a slider. So that's what we're looking forward to doing there. So when we're doing the 800 point games, obviously we'll be able to bring you even more shots, but sometimes it's important to look at faces, so that's what we're doing tonight. So once again, huge thanks. If you are interested in supporting the channel, the PayPal account is on the bottom. We will add you to our pledge wall and acknowledge you guys as frequently as able. So just before you guys go to...
You know what? I don't mean to interrupt you, Sean, but I also want to acknowledge that we also have 75 patrons.
Yes.
And we don't want to, not acknowledge them as well, right? So for everyone supporting through Patreon as well, thank you so much for continuing to support. And yeah, you guys are all great. Our community is excellent, so thank you guys.
Yeah. I mean, and you guys support us in many ways too. So not to discourage. I mean, we've had 20 to 30 people, usually around 30 people, hanging out all night. We're going just under the 2-hour mark, and people have been here the entire time. So you guys are spending your Friday night with us. We want to say special thanks to Brad, of course, for hanging out on stream with us. Joe and Keith,
thank you, Brad.
Just as making signs on the screen here. So Joe's debuting. No, I guess this is his second one, but last one as well. Fair. Hey, came for you. Oh, we're getting the official table flip here. So
okay,
awesome. All right, so just before we go into turn 4 here, you have assigned Saboteur as your leader.
Yeah.
Okay, so Keith's got 2 guys. I'm just going to eliminate this Legion Academy logo here, north side, just because we got some action happening up there. So we got RT. Saboteur's now commander. You've swapped your token. You've put your commander token in. Perfect. Good job. Keith's remembering things. Rebels at the top, all looking to make their run in there. We also have a Phil checking in from Australia. Welcome. Looks like Joe's got 1 flamer ready to pounce on the 2 rebel troopers at the bottom. And we have 2 rebel troopers hanging out here at the backside, possibly able to make the run for the end. It is turn 4. I'll update that. Very much a lot of game left here, so I am curious to see how it transpires. Any predictions from you guys before they flip their cards? What is coming?
Trying to think about what's left.
Yeah, I think Han played all of his cards.
Do you see Notorious Scoundrels?
We have not seen that, but we could.
I would, go for it if it's in there.
I'd say if there's a turn to do it, I think it's this turn.
Maybe Keith goes push here. I'm not sure, but
so what? We didn't see Sabine. Did we see Legacy of Mandalore?
No,
we saw. We also didn't see the graffiti token either.
No.
Honestly,
graffiti might be
graffiti could be really
right on
graffiti would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. With Han's suppression, yeah, that's possible. Okay, well,
Because
don't
she-
leave us in
yeah.
suspense. Let's flip them.
I would like graffiti. I would
Yeah.
love to see graffiti here.
Graffiti, and then you win priority over a 3-pip, and then you take a shot at Han and put more suppression on
Yes.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I think we just have just a little. There we go. We're catching up here. Okay.
Wait, what?
So I just
Oh, back to hands. Yeah. Hold on. No, change of plans should have been discarded. Yeah.
Change of plans before.
Change of plans does not go back to hand. It gets discarded.
Yeah, you wouldn't have that.
Oh.
Uh-oh, that's technical foul.
I'm just gonna have to assess you. Hard warning. Hard warning.
Yeah, that's 2
I
points.
thought it was-
We have to
One
repair this
one
card.
I
more.
thought it was this one.
Okay, fair enough.
I apologize.
One more and you're out of
This is
here.
the one I'm playing. Okay, that's the one I meant to play.
Okay, so he is putting in the box. So Brad, you get your. It's Notorious Scoundrels. So
Okay.
Scoundrels in.
So
Okay, yeah.
everybody gets to take 1 drink instead of 2 because we didn't get graffiti.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so
Oh, man.
choose one of one.
adios, Bob in chat. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for hanging out, Bob. Appreciate it. Okay, well,
Yeah, so I believe we had the push call right there, and not the Notorious Scoundrels.
It was
Or
actually
they-
the reverse. We thought we called Notorious Scoundrels and
Oh,
called.
That's the Han.
I called
the,
push. I called push.
Okay, so Sean was right, but Joe and I weren't, which really matters. So everybody should still take a drink.
wait,
Yeah.
is Sabine even alive?
No. Joe
yeah,
just
right.
catching up after turn 2 here.
And everyone just leaves the stream. Like, these guys are a bunch of scrubs.
I've been making too many wrong predictions. I'm too
Oh
far
my
in.
God, what?
Joe just discovering we're not playing Keyforge tonight. We're actually playing.
I don't know which one he's talking to, so okay.
I'm just too excited about these new packs. I hope everyone who is hanging out in chat is maybe painting up their new stuff. That'd be a cool thing to do on a Friday night, right?
Yeah,
Hang out, paint, listen to us, just get the rules wrong, and time.
Hey guys, I promise I'm a judge. I was just LVO. I know the rules. This is a fluke. I swear. Totally not
After
normal.
this second activation.
All right,
If
here we
anybody
go.
watches my Twitch stream, they probably know I'm lying through my teeth right now. But
Hey, why don't you go ahead and plug that?
No. Oh, you can
Sure.
trigger any time
Uh,
off of any
so yeah,
player's activation
me-
until you're gone.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Brad,
So he's
this
already-
based everywhere internet matters. I do a couple of different things for the Legion community. First and foremost, I tend to stream a lot of games that happen on TTS, the various TTS events. So that would be like Invader League and Yavin Team League, stuff like that. Some other things in there. Putting up a
Thank you.
new piece that's coming up,
But he does
which
get
is
a
related
bonus.
to other love in Legion, which is map design.
Mhm.
I know I did I was responsible for designing a good amount of the maps at LEO. Specifically, if you watched the streams, if you saw the kind of Naboo or cityscape pool that was on the second day, and if you saw the both tables that were there for the finals day, those were me. I put those together. I've also been the lead map designer for Invader League this last season and submitted maps to both online tournaments through there. So that's something I really love to do and love to push in the community, is specifically coming up with good creative map design that creates with good experience for players. And in that vein, starting in the next couple weeks, I haven't come up with a specific start date for it yet. I'm going to try to do like a weekly map building stream on my
Awesome.
Twitch channel. It's
That's a good idea.
twitch.tv/Nerfley, Nerfley.
Nice.
I'll type that in the chat just so people can see. So I'm going to do that just to talk about, we all get together. It'll be like some chill night or something in the evening. We pop on the stream, and I'm just going to take a whole bunch of terrain out of the bag, and we choose whatever we want to play with, and create a map and
Cool.
over the and see what we can come up with. Stream will, if in that chat, you'll be able to interact with that a lot. You'll be able to tell me, hey, maybe this should go here, or we're doing desert, we're doing forest, we're doing urban, something like that. And I can
Nice.
talk about how you want to kind of relay those environments in a game of Legion. I actually had a really good opportunity at LVO to talk to Alex Davey, who you may recognize as one of the developers of the game, about specifically what kind of they envisioned originally when it comes to terrain in this game and how it plays a part of it. And I'll be expanding upon the ideas as I do those kind of streams.
Nice. Okay, so we just had some rollouts coming in.
Yep. So where did the second shot go for the gunslinger?
The single
Yeah.
unit.
Okay. So what ended up happening there was he procced the bomb. Han took the force suppression, rolled a blank, uncanny luck into a block again, rolled off 2 of the force suppression, 1 action Han, chose the gunslinger both north and south, took 2 of the rebel troopers off on the northern unit and 1 the lone commander on the bottom. So we dropped an activation there at the bottom.
Okay. Now, Brad, I got to ask you, as a terrain designer and such, one of the things, we had Alex on one of our streams, and one of the things I'm pretty passionate about when it comes to terrain is expanding the terrain rules to just include more interesting definitions for more interactions with specific pieces of terrain. For example, we don't have like a horizontal clamber over lava in the official rules, right? The other ideas, we've seen some of this on TTS, like ionized water, but I think you can even expand it into something like poison fauna or flora, I should say, and things like that. Maybe you go through something, it gives you a poison token. Maybe there's vines that give you 1 immobilized token to pass through. Maybe there's ionized water. Maybe there's any sort of terrain that might give you some sort of status token. How do you feel about stuff like that? Do you have any thoughts on creative ways to expand the terrain rules in the RRG so that we can see more of that kind of stuff?
One, I 100% love the idea of having hazardous terrain and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which all of that would be encompassed under the idea of hazardous terrain.
Right,
lava,
right.
poisonous fauna, stuff like that.
That doesn't
Yep.
use both his actions. That just uses
So
one.
I personally really love that idea. I love the idea of the map interacting with those who are playing it. And it falls in line with one of the main things I got to talk to Alex about when we talked about specifically, I had some very specific questions about, like what's the minimum effectiveness of a heavy unit on a map? Is it okay if units can't make it across the map? Kind of stuff like that. One thing that was brought up specifically was one of the design intents for the game
Oh, no, they're within range.
was that, we have our battle card setups, right?
Remember,
Where you have to
so
randomly
it's
choose
on
and
the
are
edge.
ready to figure out a different scenario basically every game you play.
Yep.
The terrain, at least in Alex's opinion, and the community obviously can weigh in on this and see what kind of game and what kind of tournament circuit we want to have. But
It's
the terrain
enemy
should be
edge, correct?
similar
Yes.
in
So
that
is it his deployment
you should have to
terrain?
adapt
edge,
to your
yeah.
terrain in a fight. So you can have, not every map, not every single unit is going to be good on every single map. You might
Yep.
have a really dense urban map where, melee and close range units like fleet troopers excel.
Okay, so
then you
that's a
might have, like, an
displacement
open
of
plains
Han again?
map, like on the Naboo plains from the end of the Phantom Menace, where you have, heavy units and units with long range large dice pools are really going to excel in those. And that's perfectly fine to have both of those on the table at a major tournament like LVO or even a Prime like we have in here in Chicago and stuff like that.
Han doesn't get suppression, does he?
That's completely okay to have both of those, and you have to bring a list that you feel comfortable adapting to different situations, and that tests your skill as a commander as well as your ability to build an efficient list.
Yeah.
Hazardous terrain plays into that.
I
where
agree.
You have it adds a narrative element to the game, which is something I'm huge on whenever I design a map.
Suppression 3
The
you can
things I
replace that with.
focus on is theme for players. You'll see it. I'll bring it up as an example specifically on the streaming table for Saturday at LVO. The key position in the middle was part of a crashed LAAT Republic gunship. I did that on purpose because I wanted the story to be about these two armies coming to fight and trying to fight over that center, because the objectives typically revolve around the center of the map.
Right.
So the whole idea is they were fighting over that LAAT. You know, in your head, if you want to think about if they're trying to get survivors out, if they're trying to capture people, if there's like a black box with secret information on that left they're trying to take, which could be like a recover the supplies objective. That narrative is there, and it helps fuel the the fun Star Wars stories that we tell on the table here in Legion.
Totally.
So yeah, kind of a long-winded answer to that, but I would 100% like to see hazardous terrain in there. That's up to obviously FFG to go ahead and implement those. I know it's been discussed before, and it's something that I'm, at least from my conversations I've had with devs and what I've heard through other interviews, that it's something they're open to. It just comes down to it eventually being executed, and it's about figuring out how to do that. I think there's some, as we flesh out factions, there's some higher priority stuff on the list, so we may not see it for a while.
Right.
But I know FFG itself, at least before the restructure and the stuff that's currently going on there, we're looking into with these supplemental packs that we see with like the escape pod in the R2D2 and C3PO expansion, with the bunker that just came out as well. You're seeing those explorations into that more narrative side, and you may eventually see them come out with more specific terrain, like hazardous terrain stuff that comes out that may have specific rules around it, similar to barricades at the beginning of the game.
I'd like to see the Sarlacc bit.
I would too.
I'd like to see a Sarlacc bit that I could force push you into and kill you.
Yeah.
And the way I think about it is, yeah, you can't force push people off the board anymore, but one small piece of area terrain somewhere on the board, I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think it's just an awesome bit. We have there's some community members that have created like a Tusken Raider camp, that you can go ahead and 3D print and print out as well and like have on a table. I don't know who here of you guys did you guys play the original Star Wars Battlefront video game?
Oh yeah,
back in the day. There was a Dune Sea map that had a Tusken Raider camp, Obi-Wan's hut, and a Sarlacc pit on it. And I would love to see like those. We can almost if we got a Sarlacc hazardous terrain, we could recreate kind of that map and that kind of fun that you had there in a Star Wars Legion table. And I would love to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So what you guys missed there was Han was displaced by the RT by Keith heading north there, trying to get to that board edge. So I think he was just trying to escape so he can get out of that difficult terrain that was right ahead of him. Then Han was displaced and moved a little bit more southeast. The Flamer came in, ended up throwing 4 dice, hitting all 4, and it was a blank out on the trooper unit. So both troopers are now eliminated down there. So this is a vacated board edge here. So now Han just needs to reach basically to the far east here. The RT may have a little bit of a trick because I think he may be in a position where he must pivot in order to get around that pillar there, but I think he'll be okay. It'll be really hard to tell though if he can actually get into the end zone, because he's got to be within that range 1, so I'm not sure he'll quite make it, just on the angle that he's placed at right now, this being turn 4. So I'm not sure the RT's actually going to end up reaching the end. Han should make it, but I think that is the only 2 of Joe's units that can reach. So if Keith's able to get into that range 1, I think Keith's maybe going to be able to pull out those. He's got 3 activations. So it'll be interesting. Chewie may have to now dive to try to just shoot units. Because he's not going to reach. He hasn't activated this turn, so he will have 2 turns to potentially either pick off that rebel or the saboteurs at the very top of the map. Chewie's about to activate here now, so he's going to end up taking those shots at the saboteurs. They'll have low profile, so they'll have...
light and light?
I believe you have low profile on them as well.
Pardon me? On who?
On the saboteurs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the saboteurs.
Oh, yeah, sorry, on the rebel. Those are the troopers, yeah, sorry.
Going after the troopers,
Yeah.
so they're in heavy cover.
Heavy cover on either shot here, so...
2 red, 2 white. Okay.
Not sure if we have Brad still in chat or not here, so...
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, yeah, it's great.
I had to quick bio break, people.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Well,
too
your
much beer.
predictions have been off, so
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I don't really need to be here. I'm just taking up air right
that's
now.
fair. That's fair.
Sure.
Gotcha.
we're hanging
well,
out.
so Chewie drops 4, 2 go through, but then he's going to have heavy cover here. Heavy cover is going to take care of both of those before the Pierce kicks in. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough.
one more suppression.
Pierces for dice rolls.
How many activations do we have left on the table?
My count here has Keith with the RT sitting on top of that that sort of temple stair. He's got the one Rebel Trooper unit of 2. He's got the Saboteurs at the very top. You can just see one of them there. So that's his 3 activations. And then looks like Joe's sitting on Rebel Troopers at 2. And Keith has that central RT. So Keith's actually at 4. Joe's sitting at Chewie, the 2 Rebel Troopers, the RT that's at the bottom, and Han. So 4 aside right now.
Displacement only counts if I go over the commander, right?
Okay.
Displacement will displace your Rebel Trooper, but you won't move the whole unit, so you'll just have to recohere. You will add a 3rd suppression to that unit, however.
If I go over it.
That's correct.
And this is light, so it doesn't matter if it goes over the base of that tree.
Yeah, looks like you can probably clear that. Just getting rid of the dice cam here continuously so players aren't superimposing themselves. That's a nice move by Keith there.
That was 2 moves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So as I said, it looks like Keith's going to be able to... The nice thing about that RT in that position that it is when they move out, depending on the order, those Rebel Troopers and Saboteurs, for that matter, may actually be able to get an additional light cover added by the RT blocking.
Do you just have your troopers left?
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
If there's any way I can do much of anything else, you're going to be getting in.
Joe's just got the Rebel Troopers here at the bottom left to activate.
We can see the head of him.
Yeah, maybe heavy. Unless I just make a run for it.
You could. I'm not sure where you
1,
would
2,
get
3.
to.
Maybe 3 and 3. I have both my.
I think we lost Joe there for a second, Brad. I think your bio break must have procced him.
I mean, we've been having a good conversation. We've been drinking a lot of beer, probably a little bit on it. So you got to relieve your point at some point. So we got this move coming up here with these Rebel Troopers. This is going to be key for scoring, especially now that they no longer have suppression on them. I honestly think, right now we're seeing both players rush for the deployment zone. It looks like both have 3 activations that are
4.
currently in range. I know there's the,
I
so each
don't.
are in 4 activations total. I know
But I don't-
Chewie with unhindered might not get there though.
I don't know. This being turn 4, I don't think they're gonna. If we're only looking at one more turn, even a double move, and you got to be fully within the deployment. So
A double move from Chewie here could get him there with another double move. But he
Yeah.
Chewie's already activated though, so that's the end of turn 4 right now. So we're
Oh.
into
It's only a
turn.
5-round
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Skirmish.
Yeah, because it's skirmish.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's a problem.
yeah, that's what
a
I was
real
saying.
problem there.
I think maybe Joe's looking at 2 max, so maybe Chewie just needs to go up and try to.
I think you got to
shoot
kill.
shoot those
Yeah, you
You
activations.
got to
That's
try to
right.
kill. You got to kill another activation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
You got to get those sabs. If you can catch them in the open with Chewie, you have a good chance to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
real
command
descent.
cards are going to be quite important this turn here. So we'll just flop back over here. I'm just going to change this so that it's actually accurate for turn 5, so players know what turn they are on. And I'll pop the dice cam back up here. And here we go. All right. Predictions before they flip. Hold on, Keith.
I think we're at the point now where we're just looking at generics, right?
Well,
So push
Sabot-
was used. Notorious
Sabotage
was
the
what
communications
Vector
is a
goes.
1 pip, or is that
Yeah,
sabotage?
it's the
Okay,
one pip. I'm pretty
so-
sure one guy already only has standing orders with Sabine dead now.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think we're at generics.
I think
Any
we're
lower than 4 pip generic will do.
So
All right.
on the Chewie, let's just we will burn. Hold on, give me 1 second. We burn both 1 pips. We
Yep.
burn change of plans. We burn reckless diversion.
burn notorious scoundrels.
We burn notorious scoundrels. So
Burned,
that's a push.
burned. Well, I think think he played push first turn. It was push push assault, right? So is it the double standing orders turn? Who knows? All right, flip them. Suspense is killing me. Oh, it's not.
Oh, Notorious Scoundrel's getting the Han card back. I completely forgot.
Oh, my God.
Gotcha. Well, we better go to the tape. We better check out who's actually got priority here. All right. I think Joe's got it by a landslide there. All right, but I don't know if activating first here is actually to the benefit.
So the good thing here, if Chewie is within range 2 of Han, Chewie will get an aim. And that's the big part here, because that means Chewie can move and shoot with an aim to triple an activation.
Is that a range 2 Han to Chewie?
I had 4. I took 2 off.
And then I grenaded you with the detonator that put 3. Oh, and then you got displaced, which gave you 3 again.
Yes, and then you removes 1 at the end of the turn, though.
No, but did I remove 1 at the end of the turn?
Yes, you did. Yeah, you're right. Is Han range 2 of Chewie there to get teamwork? Oh, you've checked that already? Okay, well, I missed the check, so yeah, you're plenty there. You're got all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that giving Chewie the aim is huge here.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, as I said, Skirmish.
Really good.
Skirmish never fails to produce an exciting game. I have not played or seen a bad game of Skirmish yet.
And
I rarely see it tabling, right?
Right.
It's always like a really close game.
It's making me want to jump on a plane to Canada and pull out Vader in a game right after this. That's what's making me want to do.
Just jump in a car to my house. It's a lot closer.
But Joe doesn't have a Death Star though.
Okay.
So
Is this a Death Star?
I mean,
or a Star Destroyer?
I mean Vader on a Death Star backdrop, that would make for a pretty interesting Friday night fight.
Can you imagine if I built a Millennium Falcon in this house?
I think you should.
Think
By yourself.
I want to see
Joe will be like, "Hey, you want to come down for a weekend?" I just happened to buy like 37 sheets of foam.
And I'm like, oh, by the way, I know that your flight was like 6 hours delayed, and I know that it's like 10:30 at night, and we're in 2 hours.
Boy.
Epic.
So Han going north here.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Okay.
Getting range
Going for the cleave.
Yep.
So the question is, if with Han now not in scoring position, are the Sabs dead? Sabs are dead, right?
No, Sabs are. If you look at that
they're in the
tree,
top.
they're up there hanging out.
So he only has 2 units so he's trying to win on points here. Is this what this is?
I don't even know if he can. 'Cause like I said, I don't think that flamer can reach.
Is this heavy?
Well, you have Sharpshooter 1.
Yes.
You are suppressed and light cover, so it will be heavy cover down to light.
Sean, how tall are those rocks?
Which rocks are we looking at?
At the bottom and the top left, specifically the bottom one.
The bottom right where that RT is.
Yes.
They're low. They're like rolling hills, so the RT can walk over that without any issue. But the thing is, I think he needs to pivot to get by that temple.
If he takes a speed 1, I think he can make it.
He might be able to, but the thing is, I don't know if the speed 2 then gets him fully in that deployment zone.
That's fair.
I just don't know.
Man,
that's
tight.
yeah, it's real tight.
So Han does pick up a thing here, which makes Chewie killing the other unit easier.
Well, the problem is Chewie's got to kill 2. He can't.
Yeah.
Well, Chewie can't kill 2 activations. It's
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He can't kill 2.
boy.
The Sabs or the Rebels get in, or both. Okay, Key's pulling this, but the thing is that those Rebel troopers have to roll off the suppression first. May only have 1 action. Big roll. Only one action.
Oh.
So now you may have Rebel troopers not reach. Sabs get killed before they reach. Keith checking the range 1 stick, see if it's grown since the start of the game. It has not.
I'm gonna steal that one. I'm gonna steal that one for my own streams.
The toenail roll. So they won't make it. No, so they're not a threat.
Oof.
Oh man.
Keith with the realization they don't get, and Joe with the reminder that they are no threat. Gets turn 5, gets a little sassy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gets a little sassy.
But he gets a suppression.
Okay.
that, sorry?
Shot into Chewie
I
here.
shot at Chewie.
No hit though, right?
No hit.
No hit, no
yeah,
suppression.
Yeah.
Yeah. No bueno.
Chewie doesn't
From
care.
who, sorry?
Suppression,
No.
shrugged it off.
Yeah. Stay
Yeah.
Cleared one. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
Tight. All right. Chat predictions.
So they can.
What's the outcome?
Yes.
Give us your end score, or give us your it's going to points. And don't say rebel victory either, because that doesn't count.
So
Yeah.
try and
I'm sweating a little bit. Watching this.
I feel like I'm right back at LVO.
Yeah,
Right?
seriously. Eh?
Our game, we're both just staring with like dour faces, like
Yeah.
just made the face that both Joe and I were making at the end of that game.
Yeah. I kept looking over at your game because I finished up about turn 4, but I didn't want to like approach because I'm like trying not to be that guy. But definitely seeing that it was a tense game for sure.
Two
You're like,
crits.
did Joe just jump into a pool or what? Because his
Yeah.
shirt is white.
I was just thinking like, man, I'm glad those Legion Academy shirts are black. Yeah.
Please re-roll those. Please re-roll the
Hey,
crits. Both of them.
Yeah, you should be rolling the you. It's not going to hurt here, Keith, but you definitely that hit's going to go away. You know that, right? For cover.
Yes. Oh, sure.
So you have yeah, there you go.
Crit fit.
Still a hit.
Joe can't roll on
Yeah.
street. I increased the size of the dice box here twofold.
Roll.
It's
Players
it's
players
not in the
still
box.
they're finding the one corner. Ooh, okay, Sab's down.
Oh, we got the Sabs. Oh, both of them. Nice.
Yeah, it's
man.
gonna come down to what RT can reach and can they. Oh well, one RT's getting pulled here.
Boy. So
right.
he needs to go with the first one. Don't go with the second one. Please go with the first one to clear the path.
Wait a second.
Did you not pull him?
I didn't pull him.
What did you?
holding my
It doesn't
Ladies and
negate
gentlemen,
put it
because I'm
back.
so
What
stressed.
did you?
I
What?
did just pull him now. I forgot to pull
Okay,
him.
well then it's a moot
It's fine,
point.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's what he pulled. So if he didn't pull, you'd have to reverse the whole thing.
Yeah,
But
if I didn't
it's
pull.
Joe failed to pull the token there,
Talk to him. I do that all the time.
but pulled.
Man.
Yeah. That's going to be a hard warning for game state now too. So
I
you
think
got
we're at 3 points now. I think that's a full DQ.
yeah. Unfortunately, Joe, you've just been disqualified. Yeah.
Welcome to the Legion Academy.
Well, you know what though? We don't have any floor. The floor rules aren't in effect here. So
So can he move to?
Oh man,
No, this
you
is-
should
this
make
is
your own
straight
floor rules, like
Well-
the Death Star.
Yeah, so
Joe
they're
Joe
not-
has comms jammers, so
I think
like
so.
they
So
just
I think that guy's
they
it.
don't register.
He's gonna be- he's gonna be it.
This is
Now
Street
I'm,
Legion.
like, quite-
Yeah.
Rules don't apply here.
All right, he's deep dove here for the one point.
And I
Okay, so
love
that's a
that
bigger
balance.
point
It's a
here.
pure 45-degree angle. It's looking good.
It's
Alright.
pretty soft. It's actually significantly less than that. It's probably no more than 20 degrees.
All right, so we have a legal.
Oh boy. here
Okay,
we go.
hold on with this
Now
one. Hold on with
speed
this one.
two.
Yeah, hold on with this one. So you gotta make sure that you so the
this is
pivot
pivoting?
Oh, wait.
pivot is an action.
Angle.
Yep. Action.
Ooh.
And
I don't think you want to pivot.
Oh, you don't want to pivot. You want to take a speed one.
Get around the.
yeah.
Oh, is he hole within?
No,
No,
there's no way.
So
not even close.
I'm
No.
gonna get him in 1-for-1. You're gonna get 2.
Yeah.
That's game win.
Well, you might as well play it out. You're not playing it out? Are you shaking it out?
Moves.
What?
It's just
Okay,
moves.
chat demands you play this
Oh
out.
my god.
No, I
Yeah.
don't care what Chet says. I want to see the end of this.
We're done. He has 2 in. I can
Never
only
give
get
in.
1 in.
But Kenny, he can't go over his RT here.
Oh.
He can't go over his RT.
Does he have to be completely
No.
Can
Oh,
he?
just cut the
No, just-
angle a
just
little
go back.
more on the
Right.
first move. Yeah, no.
Take over my RT.
Just make him turn a little bit more. That's
There's
fine.
no
don't
rules on
pivot.
it. That's
Pivot as you're turning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just no rules at all.
Yeah, and then dodge.
There we go. There we
And
go.
then-
yeah. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I believe that is a
That's 2
fourth
in.
I was
point.
like, when he moves the second time.
I pull him.
Did you actually pull him?
It's the only one in the
So
back.
fun comment for us from the chat,
And then I don't think he
Sean,
makes it.
from Paul. You're welcome, Paul.
No.
I look
He's
forward to
got-
seeing them at the next Game
He's
Storm
got
event.
4 to my 0.
What we got here? I'm gonna throw Paul's. Okay.
Paul's trying to paint clones and he's wasted because we just keep doing everything wrong.
You got. There we go.
There it is. There's the
Awesome.
handshake.
All right.
Well done.
Good game, guys. Good game. Good game.
Sweet.
Oh,
That's the one I want to move.
Yeah.
No,
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Players are just reminiscing here about their misplays and fails to calibrate. So
one of the most important parts of Legion there, the reflection, post-reflection or post-match chat. With,
Yep. Yeah, not to be outdone by the post game table flip. So always
Waiting
fun.
for our first Friday night fight table.
Oh, Friday night, like Friday night fight. Yes, exactly.
Like a legitimate Friday night fight.
Yeah.
Like, we pan the camera to a fist fight.
Yeah.
the best way to end.
Somebody's head's going into the iPad keypad there, just repetitive smashes. So yeah.
Oh, no,
That's-
that was good. Well, Brad, thanks so much for hanging out, man.
Absolutely. Love this. This was a great
Definitely added a lot of good commentary tonight. A lot of good discussion.
I'm thinking next week. I think next week may end up being a doubleheader because I know we have. So Mike and Corey have been doing a little bit of back and forth talking. Corey has indicated that I had to give him a hard date so that he would have to have something ready. So he's ready to go next week against Mike. But I may actually debut the 10 activation skirmish list next week on stream too, and maybe do a doubleheader. We'll see about that. So
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be there not next week,
'Kay.
simply because Saturday is the Madison Prime,
right.
and I think we're getting a hotel room Friday night.
Okay.
So depending on when we leave, we may or may not be on the road.
But so
Okay, that's
I
cool.
definitely, I could definitely be in chat on the stream from my phone. but I don't know
Okay.
if
Where was he?
I
Here?
think we may have a couple guests lined up for the coming weeks as well. So Kyle is coming on with us, I think Tuesday.
Whatever it was.
Is that right? Talk about some more LVO stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, so that'll be on the Tuesday stream. I'm going to be picking up a bunch of the new boxes, so I think maybe Joe will do a little bit of an unboxing or a kind of some analysis on the new box with them actually in hand on Tuesday as well. So
He was
I'd love
here.
to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good.
I don't
Are you going to get
think
the indoor bunker?
Niemczyk, think
I
you'll find
have the indoor
yes.
bunker set aside there, so I think I will be picking
Cool.
that up. So
And then
I think the
wanna
only
see
thing I
that- I
can't.
want to see that get opened.
I think the only thing I can't get, I think there's no escape pods there. So they were like, our stores all seem to, like in both cities, just really seem to be shorted on the escape pods. So
Weird, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to get one tomorrow, so maybe I could just pan my camera over or something.
sure. Yep.
For that. Yeah.
No, that's
I definitely did a
okay.
an R2 for
Awesome.
our list that I'm putting together.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
To see what R2 looks like with Tron paint scheme. That's
I
gonna be
need,
awesome.
yeah, I need R2 on my 10 act list. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So I built my entire 500 points around 35 point activations, so I need them.
There you go.
So it's always a safe bet, you know. It's always a safe bet. So yeah, it's just 9 activation shield for R2, and he just goes down and gets the 1 point for the victory. So
Just a slam dunk with blast off.
yeah, exactly. Yep, all 4
That
turns. Yep.
That little.
If you play him
Yeah.
the right like he's
Yeah, exactly. Just the largest. I'm just going to scratch build the largest blast markers possible. So yeah.
That's why I was sitting there.
Yeah.
I was like, I was
So,
gonna say.
all right, I'm gonna chat with these guys here post off camera as they're getting a little rowdy here. So I gotta go, mop up and see what's going on. So, but thanks a lot, Brad, for hanging out.
Absolutely. Happy to
Yeah.
come on anytime you guys want me.
Awesome.
Thanks, Brad. Yeah,
All right.
definitely. We'll have you back. We'd love to.
Yeah, so thanks for
right.
hanging out, folks. Make sure you tune in next Friday, 7 p.m. Central. We'll have another skirmish game. I'm not sure what we'll see next week, but perhaps we'll see some heavy vehicles, maybe an ATST V tank. I'm not sure, but I'm going to really try to skew the players to get us some heavies on board here. So, and then I don't know what else we'll see after that. I might try out some clones. I haven't played clones once since they came out,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm
We got to get some clones going.
yeah, I'm
Yep.
eager to do that. I know Jace has got his clones ready, so maybe he can come show you guys some clones and do some stuff there. So his bark speeder was pretty devastating last time on stream, so looking forward to seeing that again. So, all right, well, we will we'll leave you guys with our pledge screen on the way out, and we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Did we just make a mockery of your whole
Oh, I was so
live stream there?